All right, hello everyone, and welcome to week number 1 of the spring season of ESA Siege North America. And today we're here for a wonderful opening match here with, I believe this is the Contender series. Yes, this is the Contender series. We have for you Revenant versus All4One. Actually, my mistake, not Revenant. Rank Stars, as they are no longer Revenant eSports. I'm joined by the wonderful Slayzilla.
Hello, guys. It's wonderful to be back. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm Loaf. I don't know if I mentioned that yet or not. But yeah, so we'll go ahead. Since we're a little bit behind schedule, we'll go ahead and just quickly look over the maps we're going to be playing tonight. Rank Stars have chosen to start out on Clubhouse. They will be starting on defense there, and All4One have chosen Coastline, which they will be starting on attack. So yeah, two fairly standard tier 3 maps to go into this, but I believe we're already ready to go ahead and get into this match here. We do apologize for keeping you guys waiting. It was partially my fault, but yeah, we are going to go ahead and get into this here.
Awesome. Yeah. So, like you said, a pretty staple map here is Clubhouse. We'll see the bans, and I don't know what kind of bans you think. I do a little game here with the people I cast with. Can you go 4 for 4? Can you guess all 4 of them?
Let's see. Knowing these teams, I want to say a Thatcher Maverick combo, but it's kind of a toss-up. I already have the Maverick, so I'll go ahead and I'll list all 4. Maverick, Thatcher, Mira, Echo. If I had to guess, Maverick, Thatcher, Mira, Echo.
Okay, it doesn't have to be in that order. Like we'll see it. I think you might be right here. Those seem like some good choices. The Maverick gone. Will the Thatcher follow suit?
It's either going to be Thatcher or it's going to be Jackal. Jackal's a fairly staple pick as far as the Capitao. Okay, that's actually a little bit more. Now thinking now that All4One is actually on attacks, getting rid of that Capitao, I wasn't really expecting it because, especially with the Maverick already gone, the Capitao is something you get rid of more so if you're on the defensive side. Capitao has so much impact with those firebolts, especially when it comes to the server security hold. And I'm already only 1 for 3 as Maestro is actually going to be banned out as well.
All right, yeah, they're doing all sorts of things here, bamboozling you. Let's see, the last one's going to be Mira or Echo. I don't think I've seen Mira get through any ban phases since I've been casting here. She's a hard pick. She just gets taken out immediately, and it'll be the Mira. There you go. Yeah. All right, 2 for 4, man.
A little bit of I would say kind of non-standard quote unquote bans. The standard bans are what I mentioned. It's the Maverick, the Thatcher, and then the Mira and the Echo. Although the Maestro and the Capitao, they're not completely unheard of, especially for Clubhouse. And it really just comes down to team preference and how they want to play things. So it's nothing that's completely just out there. But I'm definitely excited to see how this ends up going out. But yeah, so I know a couple of the members of Rank Stars. It's a little bit different than the roster than I saw a couple of days ago, back when I was casting for EPS. Loading and Quartz actually are the only ones from that roster that I saw. I think they've since no longer being a part of Revenant eSports, they may have changed things up a little bit. All4One is another team I'm not normally familiar with. I normally cast either Rival or Invite series, so this right here in the middle is completely new ground for me.
Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know any of them either, so it's going to be a new experience. I'm excited to see who's going to stand out at the end of the day as both teams are getting ready. So something interesting I saw, I don't think this is something you usually do see, is we had All4One go on attack on their choice. Is that like, do you think that's a good move for them? Do you think they're just going to be really dominant on attack? I feel like it's a lot safer to go for defense usually first.
Well, I mean, that is normally the case. Normally you have maps it's typically more safe to go on the defense, because most maps tend to have a little bit more of a defender-sided lean to them. Maybe not entirely defender-sided, but a little bit more of a lean to it. As I say, though, Arcturus gonna get the first kill there, taking out Corrupt there on the Jaeger. A roamer, and a big one at that, already off the board. So, moving back over to it, especially here on Clubhouse, you can sort of play with how you take things. I mean, normally it's sort of typical to take, it's like, oh, this is your map pick. let's go ahead and let's do it on defense. That's just what you do. Especially on something like Clubhouse, if you feel that your attack is much stronger, go for it. I mean, it's all about what you're comfortable with and what you feel like you can do the most work on, and at least get the upper hand on. And All4One just seems to be confident on this map, despite it being Revenant's pick. That's also another thing, is it shows confidence in a map when you choose to go attack.
Absolutely, yeah. It really does show a lot of confidence. A good job there. They were able to trade out Archers, so it's now back to a 4v4, coming down into the minute and 40-second range as both teams are starting to encroach. We'll get a little bit of a goo mine action there for the Buck. Slow the push down just a little bit.
Yeah, so really here it's kind of slow going at this point. I think probably the thing that they're waiting on here is a rotate from Taro there on the Thatcher, because as soon as they can get him downstairs to deal with things, they can get Syntax up and potentially get it. But it doesn't even matter now as Syntax is dead, as Quartz there rotates up, takes down Racha and Syntax, and that will it'll already be a 2v4 in the favor of all for Rank Stars. My mistake.
Yeah, that's a great start for them on defense here. It's tough. It's going to be down to the Zofia and the Thatcher. An unlikely combo. Let's see if they're going to be able to clutch this one up with only a minute to go.
Yeah, Bladehawk there being able to take down Quartz there for the final refrag after he did so much damage to them, taking out the hard breach and Buck there, their main point of soft breach now. So it's really up to the Thatcher and the Zofia. It's going to be really, really difficult for them. The Zofia has some good killing potential, but Thatcher is his utility is basically useless without that combo of the Thermite already down. So not too much they can do. However, it is going to be Bladehawk there to close it out, taking out Dinger and loading already.
Wow.
A 4v2 advantage thrown away there from the Rank Stars.
Yeah, that was a huge advantage, and absolutely, it just seemed like they threw it away. All4One snags a offensive win right off the bat, which is pretty big here.
Yeah, already. I mean, that really looked like it was going in the favor of Ranked there. They seemed to be doing well, but just Bladehawk there was just able to do so much, getting 3 kills on that round, and Taro as well, being able to take down. I believe it was Loading who was on the Legion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely some big plays there. Good job from Quartz. He tried to get it happening, and he did get it happening for a while, but he went down, and the rest of the team unable to keep that lead. They'll try again, still in the basement, looking to fix what they did. Get a nice win here, tied up at 1-1.
Yeah, already. So they're going back downstairs, and that is something I don't really like to see. I talk about on some casts before. I don't like repeat sites, even if it can be seen as like, oh, they lost that based off of a fluke. It really wasn't. I mean, initially, yeah, Rank Stars had things going their way, but Bladehawk and Taro were both able to really close things down, and it was ultimately Bladehawk they were able to do work, but the pinch coming from both of them, I really don't think Rank Stars should have just gone back to it. I think they should have decided, just let's move off of the site, let's go up to security, or even bedroom. Go up to a site that's not this one, and something that we haven't already shown our cards on how we're going to defend this.
Yeah, fresh in the minds of All4One. They're going to be pretty, I'd say, confident in going in here. They know that they can do some good work, as they'll be opening up into the old tunnel. Push up a little bit there. Taro and Buck on the other side. Bladehawk, the big guy to watch so far, with 3 kills. He's leading the team and the game. Quartz right up there as well with a great 2 pick, but unable to keep it going for the team. 2 minutes to go, as once again, a slow beginning.
Yeah, already here. So Syntax has already been able to open up the wall over in dirt. And this dirt push is really going to be strong coming out from Bladehawk if they're able to keep their position unknown for long enough. If they're able to hide these drones, which so far they've been able to do. They've been able to keep those drones back either away from the door or just completely unknown. But it does look like here they're going to have a little bit of intel sort of thrown out there as Loading is going to spot out one drone, but I don't think he quite knows about the dirt pushes, and they're already setting up a really good pinch here, getting some people out there in blue as well to try and start pushing them in their favor. But it looks like they're going to be able to catch Loading off guard there. They're going to be able to spray and take him down, and that's actually going to be Zach going down, not Loading. Corrupt able to take down two before Taro gets the refrag. That's Racha and Arcturus down, and we're going to see the rotate back through from Loading, going to be able to take down Taro. Quartz rotating back around as well. Syntax and Bladehawk, the only two up here. Syntax very, very low as well.
Yeah, the same with Loading. Both of them have been hit up pretty hard. The man advantage goes to Rank Stars. They have a chance to win this one here. Once again, it's down to the Zofia, but this time the Thermite joining her on the Crusade to get another win on round number 2. But down goes Syntax. Another beautiful shot from Loading, really picking up the pace here. All alone is Blade, but Dinger, Loading both hit up pretty hard around 1 to 2 shots. Quartz still full HP. It's going to be interesting to see how Blade is able to play this one. You've seen some good plays before, but will they be able to do it again? Diffuser down, being watched.
Oh, and that's a great kill there from Bladehawk, able to take down the full HP Quartz. Dinger and Loading, the only two left, and it's going to be the smoke nade is going to come out there from Dinger to try and deny this push in, but it doesn't even matter. But the TCSG going to slam Bladehawk into the wall, and that'll be Rank Stars taking round number 2, tying this up 1-1.
A fantastic job there by Loading. That was a name we saw pop up over and over again that round. Fantastic job with the TCSG. Such a formidable weapon in the correct hands. And I think for that round, it most definitely was in the correct hands. Once again, we saw a noble fight to the very end by Bladehawk, but unfortunately just didn't have the manpower to finish things up.
Yeah, unfortunate there. I mean, it looked like that Bladehawk was on the way to really head back down that path of clutching it out. But I think without the support from the second man of Syntax there, it just unfortunately was not able to go in his favor. So All4One will be down around, and we'll see Rank Stars heading off to their next site here of CCTV security. Now, this is the first time I've actually seen a Wamai play on this site. It's been a while since I've been able to cast this league, but it's been a while since I've been able to cast Clubhouse with Wamai being back in rotation. So it'll be interesting to see how this team plays around. He has a lot of utility. Those magnets can go anywhere, and during the regular ranked season, I saw a lot of creativity come out with it, so I'll be interested to see how the competitive teams play with it.
Absolutely. The Wamai and Jaeger combo is so strong. They're able to take down up to 13 utility items, and that can absolutely ruin an attacking phase for the attacking side. We'll see if that's going to work as well as they want it to, as the attacking phase has begun here, bringing out a very similar squad. And see, it seems like for the past 3 rounds, the attacking squad have been the same operators.
Yeah, and that's typical of what you see for an attack, especially here on Clubhouse. I mean, you find that good balance of 5, and you keep with it, because every site when it comes to Clubhouse is attacked in a very similar way. They're not attacked the same way, but they're very much they're similar in how they're done. You'll see there's always a hard breach involved. You want to have some sort of flex fragger, and that's in the form of Zofia, and you want sort of the Hibana is usually optional. You'll see maybe the Hibana sort of foregone when you see something like a Capital still up. So it's a pretty standard lineup that just fills all the holes needed there. Quartz already going to be taken down, as that wall is also going to be breached here. That wall being breached is going to be really big here for All4One.
Absolutely, that's a big breach. They're able to distract the bandit well enough, so he didn't have a chance to do much tricking at all. He had other problems to worry about, but now even more problems will be arising very, very quickly, as that wall is very open. That's a big hole to just look through. And oh boy, dropping will be Syntax, and Corrupt will go down as well. But another frag comes out as Loading takes the brunt end of Taro's gun. Now a 4v2 in favor of All4One.
Yeah. So already with this much of a man advantage gone away from ranked, it's gonna be hard for them to come back from this. Zach and Dinger, their guns have the potential to get the kills here, but up against something like the Type 89 and the M762, there's not much they're going to be able to do. I say that Bladehawk takes down Zach, and that is the AUG, probably the most viable weapon to try and take out something like this. Already gone, and there's Taro cleaning it up with the L85, and All4One take round number 3.
Yeah, a great attack there. They really did everything they needed to. Opened up the walls, they got their angles, and they even got the defuse down just in case they needed to bring it to that. Fantastic work as we head into round number 4. And oh wow, are we going to see an Echo plate here? That could be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Echo, especially in this level of play, is not left open in the bans very often. So you don't see a lot of teams really building any strats around him, period, because they don't expect him to be left open. They're like, you know what? Echo's not going to be open. Why even try and build a strat around him? Let's just leave him out there. So you don't see a ton of play from him. You'll see some people bring him out, and he's fairly powerful when he is brought out. That MP5 SD is a wonderful platform for anchoring. The ACOG on it as well is just, it's an MP5 variant. It's really, really good. And both of his drones are, he has 2 of them now, which are very, very powerful. I mean, they're very, very well hidden, and especially without something like an IQ, they're very hard to deal with. You do have the Thatcher on the board, but most of his utility is going to be directed at that wall and getting it open. So there's not too much that Zach really has to worry about, so long as he plays his drones smart. So it'll be interesting to see where he plays and where he decides to anchor. So something else I'm noticing, they did not have anyone really anchoring over in Garage. They had Quartz last time on that dock, but he was focused on the wall breach so much that he didn't notice anyone coming in downstairs, and he was taken out. So they are switching Zach over there now. So hopefully he'll be a little bit more effective of an anchor down here.
Absolutely. And you definitely don't want to lose the Echo early on either. Those yokai drones can be so important for plant denial, just denial in general. You can absolutely confuse a man, make him have no idea which way is up or down, and that can be big, especially when they're running in for a gunfight. But once again, we see them taking the same site. That's twice in a row. They lose the site and then they go back to it. That's kind of a theme we're seeing here now.
Yeah, and sometimes that can go your way. I mean, it's absolutely possible that can go your way. Corrupt, they're able to get 2 big kills there on Daracha and Arcturus. And that is your Hibana and Buck down once again before Taro gets that refrag there. Racha and Arcturus have been struggling. They've been the ones who have been really, really struggling during this match. They've been playing some, I wouldn't say really non-essential roles, but they've also, especially Arcturus there on the Hibana, I mean, that hard breach as well as the Type 89 are really, really important. And Racha there on the Buck can have a really important role as well, especially in dealing with that bandit trick. So seeing both of them down negative is really, really disheartening for the team, while Taro and Bladehawk are definitely carrying their weight here.
Absolutely. For the opposing side with the rank stars, you're seeing some great KDs as well. You're seeing Loading, Corrupt, and Quartz. They have the only kills on the team for them right now, but they do have quite a few, definitely not an insignificant amount. You're seeing kind of a better spread from All4One. Zach and Dinger have yet to find any frags. We'll see if that's going to change here, as the Valkyrie and Echo certainly are looking for them.
Yeah, they definitely are here. So we're already going to see Taro here looking to push through construction now, despite having that breach opened up. Or actually, they were looking to open it. I'm not sure if they were actually... Yeah, they were successful in getting that breach open. So they are looking to put some two-sided pressure here. I think the lack of manpower has sort of pushed them to really try and attack this from multiple angles and not put so much focus on that one breach. And now with that second one open, it's going to be a lot harder for them to defend the site. Bladehawk is going to rush in, take down Loading, not before being refragged there by Quartz, though. And it's going to be down to a 3v2. Man advantage in favor of rank stars, but there's going to be Syntax take out one Dinger gets the refrag there. Taro gets another one, and now 1v1 up against Zach. Now, Zach has a lot of potential here to potentially stop this plant, but the drone isn't in position. Will he be able to get it? It's at 0-0, and he will not. So the diffuser goes down, and it's now a post plant here for Ranked Stars.
That is unfortunate, but luckily Zach will be able to finish things up. Most likely going to get the defuse down. Hopefully he doesn't have a bad time finding that, and he won't. But, you know, you bring in an Echo to hopefully get some intel and maybe deny a plant, but we weren't able to deny the plant. It came down to a sketchy one-on-one. He was able to win it, but, ooh, get you a little heebie-jeebied up there.
Yeah, no, he definitely he came really close to it, and I think if Taro had been a little bit more aware of Zach's actual position, that I think Taro could have won that, but not really having any intel as to where the Echo was coming from, that was a situation that really was just set up in favor of Zach there. So they're going to be able to tie it out here 2-2. So another thing to mention is going even on a defensive half is typically it's not what you want to see when it comes to a when it comes to any sort of competitive map. You don't like seeing even halves, but when it comes to Clubhouse, it's a very evenly split. It doesn't really lean defender or attacker sided. It's very strategy heavy. It's not like Coastline or Cafe that are very frag heavy maps. It's a balance between the two. You have to get your frags, but you also have a really good strategy in place, because there's so many different ways that you can attack this, and there's so many different ways that you can defend this. You have to be ready for just about anything.
10 seconds to insertion.
Absolutely. And let's see if they're going to be ready again. Back to the basement, this time for the third attempt at defending it. We're going to be closing in upon the switch here in just 2 rounds. So it's coming up pretty quickly, and they want to make sure, like you said, to try to get that advantage, go 4-2 if they possibly can. But, you know, like you said, it's a pretty even map. I'm sure if they go 3-3, they're not going to be too bothered about it. Really just try to pick up the pace as they move in to the attacking side, as we are going to start moving on in.
Yeah, so already we see Corrupt here sitting in the same spot. He really likes to sit down here. He likes to sit down on these blue stairs, and he likes to just wait there for someone to punch that window so he can just run right up and take them down. And it looks like Arcturus is aware of that. I mean, he's died to that so many times now that I would hope he's learned his lesson here. Already going to be opening up that window, going to take it down prone. And he's actually inside here, and he takes the prone angle, but Corrupt still wins it out. Arcturus is going to lose that gunfight, and his KD will slowly slip lower.
Unfortunate there. He did definitely should have known. It's been a couple of times that he's engaged in that, and here comes another big engagement. Beautiful shot from Corrupt. The man is unstoppable right now to take down the Buck as well. So once again, it's Arcturus and Rakja very quickly taken out.
And it's by Corrupt once again. It's been almost every single round. Corrupt is there to take down Racha and Arcturus, and Bladehawk there just going to throw his life away, running in, taking out loading, but not really having anyone there for support. So that's just going to be his life sort of thrown away there and taking out loading. Corrupt there going to take a few shots there from Taro, and we're going to see Quartz take down Syntax, and now it's a 1v4 all on the shoulders of Taro.
Yeah, Taro definitely a good player right now, but a 1v4 is a lot to deal with as, oh boy, the pressure is rising here. He's going to have to do some great work, but headshot from Quartz, the Bandit will be taking him out. Defenders win on round 5, doing good and looking to seal the deal here. 4-2 before the split. Let's see if they can make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, already they started pushing their way back. I mean, they're winning 2 rounds in a row now, which means they have to go to their third site of Gym Bedroom now. And this is sort of the make or break of this half. And they can bring it up to 4-2. They have a pretty decent position going into their attacking half. I mean, so long as they go even at the very least, they can pull it out. But they haven't been to Gym Bedroom yet, and I don't know if that was by design of their strategy or if they just didn't want to go here. Either way, it can still go either way. If they didn't want to go here because they feel it's their weakest site, then All4One have a potential to even this out. If they wanted to wait and just save this for the very last site so they can have this explosive strategy that just absolutely floors ranks, that absolutely floors All4One, that's entirely possible, and that could just easily throw this back in favor of Rank Stars here.
Absolutely. It's getting kind of exciting not knowing these teams. You just never know what kind of strategy they're going to pull. It could be either really good or, like you said, this could be a weak site for them. What'll happen? Oh, man, you got to hope All4One is ready for whatever comes. They would really like to see a 3-3 before they make the change to defense. Bring out the IQ this time, someone we haven't seen. They're switching out the Zofia for that. Everyone else, excuse me, not the Zofia. Switching out, who are they switching out? That is the Buck. They're switching the Buck for it. Okay.
Switch the Buck for the IQ. And so, something I want to mention too, I'm not exactly I'm not entirely a fan of bringing out the Commando. The Commando by itself, I mean, it's a decent weapon, but the G8 is right there. I mean, the G8 is such a powerful weapon and such an amazing platform. Why would you use anything else? I mean, yeah, the Commando, I mean, it's got an ACOG, so does the G8. And the G8 aims down sight just as fast as the Commando, if not faster at times. The recoil is still very manageable, and you have a 50-round drum mag. Why would you use anything else? It's just kind of a no-brainer. But you know what? It may just be personal preference, and I don't want to just absolutely rail on someone's personal preference.
Absolutely. Some people just like the way it feels. Let's see if that's going to be the case. Maybe the IQ switch was the play as Corrupt is waiting for his 8th kill here. Like a lion, just ready to go. We'll see if we can continue to do some great work for his team, because he's been absolutely essential alongside with Quartz to getting them to where they are right now.
Yeah, and it looks like there is actually one person sitting up there in gym right next to the window there. I believe that was Quartz there, just sitting up there in the corner. Yeah, that is Quartz there sitting up in the corner, and I don't think they're aware that he's up there. So he could potentially have some great impact if they decide to breach and move on in, or if they try to hop through that window there.
Yeah, that's not going to be very good for them if they can't figure it out. Still Corrupt waiting and ready. You hear the guys pinging around. There's more being thrown out. That's the great thing about both Legion and Wamai. The longer you let them sit, the more utility they have, and that's growing by every couple of seconds.
Yeah, the longer you wait, the more that you have to deal with. And so another thing to mention is his rework. I honestly think it was probably the best thing for him. He feels that more sort of rush and sort of late rush denial that he was initially intended for, instead of just that really powerful intel gathering off that he was for the longest time. I mean, yes, you still get intel from it, but the main point of it now is not as much for it's not as much for intel gathering. It's more to stop that late round rush and prevent that plant from happening. It does give you some audio cues, but overall, it's not about that. Quartz through the floor able to take down Taro though. And that's one of the big players of Rank Stars, taking down Corrupt there, gets another double there, taking down Arcturus and Bladehawk. Almost the normal one that he takes out, and he's going to be able to take down Haracha there, hence Syntax is going to go down to Zac, and Rank Stars come away with a flawless round to put themselves up 4-2.
Man, that all went so quickly. Started off with a shot from Quartz underneath, and then Corrupt comes up with a triple kill, all finished off by Zac. What a fantastic job, as we now will be doing the switch. So, Rank got that, what they were looking for. They got the 4-2. Now they just got to keep it nice and steady. If they can continue to win at this pace, they should have game 1 under, or excuse me, in the bag. But of course, defense might be a little bit stronger here for All4One. We'll have to find out, see who they're going to bring. 6th pick goes from Goyo to Castle for defense. Now the old Castle man.
Yeah, so they are going Gym Bedroom. That's also something to mention here. They're going Gym Bedroom, which is typically, it's not a first sight. It's almost never a first sight. When you have CCTV security and Gym Bedroom to choose from, I mean, they're easily the 2 strongest defensive sites. But I mean, that could be what they're planning for, and it does look like they are planning for a gym bedroom take at least. You have both the you have the Thermite and the Hibana, as well as the Buck. The Buck is probably the biggest indication because there is no reason for any sort of soft breach on this site. When it comes down to it, yes, there's use for it on CCTV, and there's use for it on Church Arsenal. There's almost none for it here. You could argue potentially that there's some use for it in taking care of construction, taking care of some hatches, but overall, you have some better operators that you could bring, like you saw last round from All4One. And IQ would arguably be a better choice here for Rank Stars to take, but it may have just been they were just thrown completely for a loop by All4One by this pick.
Yeah, definitely might be a very interesting choice here, as that'll be an EMP charge going down. Do we get the bandit trick? No, we don't. A good try from Bladehawk, but he's going to have to scurry away, taking a little bit of damage, and now there is a massive hole looking directly down the hallway, ready to do some big damage.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, and Quartz here already looking to enter in underneath, so that's actually interesting. Normally we don't see. It looks like they've adapted his hard breacher role, or not hard breacher, soft breacher role. So despite it not being very powerful, it looks like they may have adapted it so that he can get underneath and potentially do some work in clearing out anyone that's anchored on any of the sites here. We do have pretty much everyone just sitting, 2 in the bedroom, 1 in the bathroom, and 1 over in construction. So they're still doing a lot of good work here.
And looks like a nade coming in from Ports. He did get lit up pretty well, down under 25. Oh gosh, around under 10, I'd say almost. So that's going to be tough for him. But both the nades are going to be thrown, trying to find somebody. Archers takes a bit of damage. Not sure if that was pre-existing or from the nade. Was from the grenades. All right. So a little bit of the effect there, but still not as much as he was hoping, I'm sure. Ticking down now to the final minute. The pushes are going to have to come out. Let's see what they do. And Bladehawk is going to shut down one of their big fraggers against another big fragger for the opposite side. But it's going to be more as Quartz goes down. This is big. Looking great now for the defensive side. A 5v3. Can they keep the flow going?
Yeah, they're definitely looking to. All4One here looking much stronger than they have on the attack, especially these last 3 rounds, which have very quickly fallen in the favor of Rank Stars. We're going to see Taro finally pull one back in the favor of, or my mistake, that was not Taro. It was Corrupt there pulling it back in the favor of Zach getting one as well. But Dinger there going to stop. Gonna not get the defuse down, thanks to Taro as well. Zach taking down Syntax, and now it's a 1v2, is actually a 1v1 as Zach takes down Taro, a triple kill for him. And now it's just up to Racha here, who has not been performing very well, but it doesn't look like that'll matter now, as All4One takes round number 7 and puts themselves up 4-3.
A very good job there. He was able to take him down. Got a little bit sketchy, but the Thatcher had almost no HP left. It wouldn't take much to take him down, and he was able to dish that out. A good job to bring it back a little bit closer. We're going to have a pretty competitive game here. It looks like if they can continue to have this back and forth battle, we'll see if it'll continue that way. But so far, a pretty good show.
Yeah, this has been very, very back and forth, and it looks like already that All4One is trying to show up a little bit stronger on defense than they have on the offense.
Absolutely. This time going down to the basement for Church Arsenal, going to switch out the Warden for the Goyo. Good old Warden. I remember when he was a 3-speed, or excuse me, a 1-speed, and no one wanted to touch him with a 10-foot pole. Those were good times. The poor guy.
Yeah, he was. What was that, Cthulhu? Our broadcaster just said no one still wants to touch him anyways, and honestly, that's fairly true in most aspects. No one really likes playing him still. I mean, his gadget, it has some use, but overall, it's very, very situational compared to a lot of other operators. So it's not seen as very useful. I mean, yes, he has some use in some holds, as we're going to see here. Actually, he was switched off of, but for example, Bank, which was just rotated out of the map pool. There were a lot of times where you could use him on a top floor CEO hold or downstairs on a basement hold. You could use him to hold down those blue stairs. You could use him to hold down janitor closet. He still had some use, but it was very, very situational in what he could be used for.
Absolutely. You have to bank on them bringing in a Ying or flashes on you, and that doesn't always happen. And if it doesn't happen, well, that could be a whole lot of utility you could bring in instead as the attacking phase has begun. Once again, a pretty similar setup to what we saw with All4Ones. I think it's actually the exact same setup that they brought most of the times. So we'll see if that's going to be effective for them. Already it's Quartz moving in. He's going to go from second floor down, try to work his way out. You like to see that. You want to take control of the top uppermost floors so you don't get absolutely shredded upon from above, and they'll be doing that.
Yeah, already we're seeing Quartz making good use of that skeleton key there, getting as much vertical control as he can there with as many of those shots as he can, trying to get some angles there into Church. He's gonna see one, not gonna be able to connect any shots, unfortunately. But already we're going to see Zach there trying to prevent the Cade trick, and it does look like it will be fully stopped there, and they'll be able to get that moto hatch opened as quickly as possible.
A very good job. They're going to get that open, and that puts a lot of pressure on that defending team. They're going to have to watch not only from a horizontal gameplay, but also that vertical as Quartz takes down Racha. A beautiful shot. The Mozzie falls to the buck, and a opening pick out of the floor. Fantastic work.
And already the first kill they're going in the favor of Rank Stars here. They're already starting to pull a little bit further ahead. Corrupt there takes down Taro as well. That's another big pick there, taking out the Goyo. And Taro as well, who's sitting on 8 kills, loading, taking down Arcturus as well. It's just the Bladehawk and Syntax. Bladehawk taking down one there of Corrupt. Another big player on the side of Rank Stars, sitting up at double digits already. Bladehawk takes down Zach as well, who's been a big player these last couple of rounds. But he is finally refragged there by loading. Now on a double kill on the round. So now it's all up to Syntax here, and that is it as Quartz takes him down and Rank Stars take round number 8.
All right, a good job from Rank Stars. They're going to start to take a little bit of a lead now, trying to edge towards that match point. That'll be happening in a couple of rounds as they're able to continue this dominatory offense. But, you know, we've seen it before. We've seen a good play from All4One. I think they can bring it back. Here we go. One of your pet peeves, they're going back again to Church Arsenal.
I really dislike it. I don't like repeat sites really at all, because if you lose it if it comes down to it and you've lost it in an overall sense of how you played it, and it wasn't just, oh, this one thing messed up and that caused the whole thing to just cascade down on top of us. It wasn't that. It was the fact that Rank Stars were able to systematically dismantle the defense of All4One and just collapse on them and take them all out. And and it looks like they're doing pretty much the exact same thing again. There's been no real change in the operator lineup. So unless they change the way that they defend it, then I think Rank Stars are going to be able to put themselves up on that point. I really think they will be able to, because repeat sites, I mean, they worked out for Rank Stars. They worked out for Rank Stars almost every single time, which is kind of a fluke in my book. I just think that they used that loss to sort of figure out how All4One was attacking it, and then just sort of build back off of that, which is an entirely viable strategy. Usually you'll see that done after a rotation of sites instead of just back-to-back sites, because you can sometimes get caught in a rut with back-to-back sites. But All4One, it seems like, I don't know, Rank Stars did such a good job of just dismantling that defense that I don't know. I really don't think this is going to go in the favor of All4One here, at least this round.
Yeah, especially when we have Rank Stars bringing the exact same loadout. You know, you're still going to be able to see that big, most likely big first floor hold from the buck. Here he is, ready to go. Blasting open the ceiling again. Will he get the first pick? And he does again. This time it's Valkyrie who will go down. Oh my goodness. And just like you said, are we seeing an exact repeat here? If you want to talk about something that's going to break your morale, it's being smacked twice on the same map. Is this going to happen here? Because it's looking like it might. Or in the same hold, I guess. My bad.
Yeah, already Quartz has done such a good job with that vertical hold that it absolutely does not matter. And once again, we saw that that Kaid trick getting taken away there, but he's going to be able to use it to hold down that church wall instead, which could potentially do some work. Dinger there is going to have to do a lot more work to get that wall open if he wants to. C4 comes out and is going to be able to down Quartz, but not take him out. But there is one member of Rank Stars to pick him up there, so it takes him down to quite a low HP there, but it is not going to take him out just yet. And there are no more C4s here on the board for All4One.
A fantastic job. We do see a pretty close one here, as you know, like you said, Quartz got down by this, a lot of damage, but he's still a viable option. He's still there, and he can still do some great work. We'll see if he's able to. Coming down to the final minute, gonna start getting crazy here, as it always does within the final minute of any round.
Yeah, so it looks like really they're just waiting for, they've gotten the wall open here, they're just waiting to get this push in. They need to flush out anyone sitting over here in church, which it really looks like it's going to be up to Bladehawk really to hold this down, as he is sitting over there close to the minibar. He's stunned out. He's holding as tight of an angle as he can. If anyone finds him out there, he's going to be taken out. Taro there, going to be able to take down Corrupt there as well. Bladehawk taking down Quartz. Arcturus takes down Loading. It is very quickly falling back in the favor of All4One here. Dinger and Zach, the only two up here for Rank Stars. Dinger starts to push. He sees the shots come through from one. Does not know where Bladehawk is, so that would be Bladehawk to close it out with the double, and All4One take round number 9.
So I think that's every time that a team has gone for a retry on a map, a site, they've been able to actually take it. So pretty impressive here, especially considering, you know, it can be very, very tough. But it's been this back and forth game, and it still will be. Let's see if it's going to go all the way to that bitter end. It's very close. Ranked right now, just one round away, taking it to the match point for the map, and well, that's going to be big for them. They definitely want to lead. I mean, anyone would want to lead. They want to go in 1-0 as they hit the second map, especially considering that it's their choice. They don't want to lose on your choice.
Yeah, so they're heading now for the first time to CCTV cache.
Attackers need to locate and
now the problem here is that they try to do their typical repeat site. They risk the chance of Rank Stars going up to a map point. If they go up to map point, I mean, that sort of flips the switch in your head. It's a whole different mentality that you need to go into once something hits map point. You need to play a lot closer to the chest. You need to take it a lot more carefully. And All4One are just, they don't seem to be very, very careful in their hold so far. From a utility standpoint, All4One has not been doing very well. From the kill side of things, you've had Bladehawk and Taro really stepping up to the plate here. Arcturus, Ratcha, and Syntax have really been struggling here, all sitting around 3-7, or 2-7, 3-8. Whereas Taro and Bladehawk are sitting up at 9 and 13 kills respectively. And they just have not been doing the kind of work that they need to be doing in order to really win the rounds. If we saw Ratcha, Arcturus, and Syntax really stepping up, really getting those kills when they needed to, then I think this would be a very, very different story, and All4One would be a lot more, would be doing a lot better.
Absolutely. You can definitely see that. I mean, really the only person who's struggling for Rank Stars has been Dinger, only scoring 1 kill so far, but significantly fewer deaths than some of the other guys on All4One. But overall, that team has been doing a great job of all of them lifting their weight when they can, and when they can't, they have other fantastic players to take the brunt of that strain. And talking of strain, that's a lot of strain going to Bladehawk and Terra right now. They've been doing a lot of hard work, and I'm sure they're just begging their teammates, come on guys, let's go, we can push this, we need to get wins here, we can do some good work. And you just have to hope they'll be able to play to the best of their abilities and really get something going here.
Yeah, they really need to start doing some more work. But I don't know, they've really been relying on just explosive performances from Bladehawk and Taro to really win things out, and you can't rely on that entirely. You absolutely can. I mean, Bladehawk can definitely do a lot of work. I mean, not to discredit him at all. He's been doing some great work. 13 kills. I mean, you're sitting up at the most in the lobby. I mean, you definitely can't be discredited for the amount of work you're doing. But seeing how Syntax, Arcturus, and Racha are all performing as well, he needs to step up. He doesn't need to be the only one stepping up. And as I say that, though, he's already been down, and he's going to be taken out as well. And that's a big member of All4One taken down. Taro there takes down Quartz and Loading as well. That's another 2 big players there. And that's going to be Corrupt finishing it off there. A triple kill for him on the round has taken out all 3 members of All4One that are down. It's just up to Racha and Syntax, the 2 underperformers.
So we're talking about a time to pick things up. Well, you got it right here, right in front of you. Go get it, Syntax, I believe. But do you? We'll see how this plays out with only 25 seconds left. Once again, oddly specific. The offense is going to have to make a pretty big move pretty quickly. Zach being tagged up quite a bit. Both of the defenders at full HP. Defuse going down from Zach. That's the... Ooh, oh my goodness, Racha going off now. It's a 2v2. Defuse stopped, and oh, what a job from Racha! Talking about stepping it up, and he'll step it all the way home to bring this once again to a tied game. Now 5-5. Great job there from the Jaeger.
Yeah, and so now they're going to be heading back over to Gym Bedroom, and this is make or break point. If All4One are able to pull it up to a, if they're able to pull it up to a map point, I think they have a good potential to take it all the way. But if I think if Rank Stars pull it up to map point, then I think we may see this go into overtime.
Absolutely. We'll have to see what happens. Definitely a very exciting game to watch. Just one other man stepping up to the plate and being able to really find your frags. And well, Racha did just that, was able to clutch that up. A very tough situation, denied the plant not once, but twice, took out all of them. And yeah, here they go back again to the Gym Bedroom.
Yeah, so this is really going to once again hinge on Bladehawk here. And so here's another thing I'm noticing too. All4One, whenever they've been winning rounds, it's because of explosive plays from Taro, Bladehawk, or even that last time from Racha. It's not because of the entire team coming together and just working around each other. Yeah, it's just not, it's not been a full team effort. It's not been, they're building off of each other's utilities. It's one person getting an explosive play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not how things should work. I mean, you should have your entire team just pulling everything together and working together. You've seen that on the side of Rank Stars. You've seen Zach and Dinger not really pulling up as many kills. Zach's had a couple of explosive plays. Dinger not quite as much, but Dinger has, and he's only 1-6 on round number 11. He stayed alive pretty much every single round that Rank Stars have won. And Quartz there already taking down Bladehawk is an amazing kill this early on.
Yeah, that is a prime target to take down. Fantastic. One of the big fraggers for that team. Perhaps, well, not anymore. Corrupt is now the biggest fragger in the lobby. But like you were saying, man, you know, Siege is, a good shot from Taro to even things out. Quartz will fall. The man has now 12 kills. But you like to see Siege kind of as a game of chess. You know, this well-planned, well-oiled machine. But it definitely seems that when All4One are getting these wins, they're taking a baseball bat to that chessboard and just smacking the absolute crap out of it to take the win. And you know what? If it works, it works. But there are definitely better ways to go about winning a chess match.
Absolutely. Sometimes that works out. I mean, like you said, I mean, sometimes smacking the baseball bat to it, you knock over the right pieces with it. Other times you just completely and totally whiff and you just make a lot of noise and don't really do anything. So hopefully they can sort of refine their strategy a little bit more, like we've seen from Rank Stars. They've they seem a lot more refined in their approach, and they seem to be working a lot better together. I say that though, Corrupt's there going to be able to get actually my mistake, Loading there getting a double kill, Zach picking one up as well, and now it's all up to Racha once again, but Corrupt there going to finish it off, and Rank Stars will take round number 11 and push themselves up to map point.
A fantastic job there. You saw the first couple of frags were on those huge players, Taro, as well as Blade fell early into that, and that definitely hurt the defense. Match point now, and it is all primed for Rank to take map 1, and we'll just run with it all the way home into map number 2.
Yeah, and they are going to be heading back down to Church Arsenal. Now, this is going to be rough, because we've seen the only time that Bladehawk not getting taken out first, and it ended up working out for All4One, was the one time that Racha pulled things out and was able to make a really explosive play. If Bladehawk dies early again here, this round is not going in the favor of All4One. I just gotta say it, because Bladehawk, the last time they won this, Bladehawk was able to stay alive and was able to hold down Church, was able to get a really nice triple kill and close things out. If we see Bladehawk go down early again, I think it's pretty much done and dusted for All4One.
Yeah.
He and Taro have had such a massive impact on this match so far. 12 and 13 kills respectively. They have been the carrying force behind All4One. Syntax, Arcturus sitting out at 3 and 2 kills respectively. Racha only up at 6 due to his one really nice play up in CCTV. It's just they're not pulling the weight that they need to. Again, not to discredit Bladehawk and Taro by any stretch whatsoever, but the rest of the team really needs to be picking it up here if they want to be really competitive later on in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. They are really leaning upon the fragging power of those two. Here it goes. It's match point. Or map point, as Quartz is going to be once again with a buck, can do some great damage like we've seen before from that first floor, just shredding the soft floor and taking down anyone else who's under it. Ooh, almost lined something up there. Getting close to the Zofia. The Corrupt has been so effective. 15 kills on the night, the most in the lobby. It's been fun to watch these guys play. We'll see if he's going to be able to continue that absolute reign. Archer's gonna have to back up, taking a lot of damage down around on I'd have to say. A beautiful play to take down the Goyo shield, and oh, well, that will be a beautiful placed C4 to take down Quartz. That's their buck done. It's looking like a pretty even game so far, pretty even round.
Yeah, Quartz has not been, when it comes to especially this fight, he either stays alive long enough to have a really good impact or he dies early on. That's when it comes down to whenever you're attacking, whenever you're trying to open up this vertical control, because if the defense is able to react fast enough, then you have some effect, but not really as much of an effect as you possibly could have. As we've seen from the past, Quartz has been able to do some really good work from those vertical angles, but the defense were expecting at this time and they were able to react, so not having too much effect here. And with a minute left, they're trying to have a little bit more impact on this round and get set up for their push here, but they really need to start moving a little bit faster.
Absolutely. So far, All4One has been doing a good job at slowing them down. Oh, wow. Misses a shot onto, I believe, not sure who that was. Might have been Taro taking a bit of damage. Archer's very low still. Damage-wise, I think we're starting to see Rankstar's edge into the lead here. They do have, oh my goodness, and Racha gonna take down great shot as things are going crazy here. Bladehawk down to a 2v5 now. Rankstar's in trouble. Corrupt will find his 16th kill as one goes down. Corrupt with another 17. Bladehawk with a refrag onto Zach. It's all upon the Zofia in a 1v3, something we've seen before. As Zofia, that was Bladehawk, but no, it's not gonna happen. Bladehawk, both of the big fraggers on each team, head to head. And it'll be the TCSG who finds the final frag. So, going to round 13, we are going into overtime now, and this is gonna get fun.
Yeah, so 3 more rounds, 2 at the very least here for either team to come out on top here. But we will see, we'll see Rank Stars having 2 rounds at the very most here on attack. So we saw even halves from both teams. So honestly, with even halves from both teams, it's just I honestly can't say which way this is gonna go. Thinking about it statistically, I kind of have the feeling that I think potentially All4One can come out of this because they have the momentum from the previous rounds up against their back here, and that can potentially snowball through this, and they can have a much better effect. I think if they pull themselves up 7-6 and they're able to really effectively take care of the defense of Rank Stars, it all depends on where they can go. Everything is open for them. Then I don't know. It'll be interesting. They went to Gem Bedroom as their last site. They were really ineffective on it. I think probably their best record of sight so far has been on. Thinking through them, I think their best record site so far has been CCTV security. If they're able to, go CCTV security again, and if they're able to win it, then pull it up to a 7-7. Then knowing the 2 sites that All4One has left, I still think it goes to them. I mean, if they win out here on Gym Bedroom, they still have CCTV, and they still have Armory Arsenal, which they've done so much good work on over the previous round. So I think they win here, they go down to Armory Arsenal, and I think All4One takes it.
All right, there's the prediction. Let's see if it comes to fruition. Rankstar is going to be trying their darndest to make sure that doesn't happen. They'll be trying to swing it in the opposite way, but like you said, still with a bit of a defense bonus will be All4One. They get just a little bit more security. Stay down and watch those angles rather than watch out for the people watching the angles. We'll see who falls first.
Yeah, already here they're going to be opening up some breach holes, but it's going to be Syntax there, taking some sprays there onto Quartz. It's going to take him down to just under 10 HP there, but he is going to be finally taken out there by Syntax through his own holes there, and now it's just going to be loading there, looking to contest. Looks like he's getting some support there from Corrupt. Nothing going to really be effective there yet. Going to get hit by a C4, but not taken down, and that's going to be loading, taken down by Syntax as Dinger takes down Racha. And we have a 3v4 in the favor of All4One already.
Yeah, we do indeed. A good job there from Dinger. His 2nd kill of the game so far. So that's definitely pretty nice for him. He wants to try to get up as high as he can, I'm sure, before the end of the night. And things have slowed down a bit. There was a little bit of burst of excitement there where a couple people fell. Now in the last minute, it's going to start to ramp up again. Pretty soon here, they're going to want to figure out how they're making the push and where and when and most importantly, why. Why do you want to defuse the bomb is a question. Not Let's see what they do.
Yeah, and we're gonna see Corrupt there already taking out Syntax here as they start to try and get some control of some construction here and make the move here to potentially get the plant down off in Bedroom. As right now that looks like their most likely avenue of attack as both Quartz and Loading are down, and that's going to be Corrupt. Downed, but not out as well. They're going to be trying to take him out as soon as they can here, and it looks like he will be picked back up, so he's still in this for now, and could potentially still have an effect. They're going to have to deal with Arcturus over here in Logi office if they want to start making their move. We're already going to see Taro there taking out 2 there, taking out Dinger and Corrupt, and that's a 3rd for Taro there on the round. And that is All4One taking round number 7, and they are up now 7-6, 1 round away from taking the map.
What a great job from Tara there to finish things up. Fantastic work. And yeah, he put his team in a great position. Now they'll be switching over to that offensive side. Back on defense. It's been a while since we've seen Corrupt, Zach, Quartz, Loading, and Dinger here. Let's see if they're going to be able to find their footing and bring this back. If we're looking at the frags right now, looking at the kills, 16 and 16 from Bladehawk and Taro. The rest 5, 7, and 2 from Racha, Syntax, and Arcturus. For the good old Rank Stars, it's Corrupt leading everybody with 18 entire kills. It's huge. 11, 7, 9, and 2 will follow.
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing to mention is Dinger and Syntax, or Dinger and Arcturus. They're not doing very well in the kills department. I mean, they're both sitting on 2 kills respectively. Dinger is a little bit more understandable as he's been playing more of a hard support role pretty much his entire game. But even so, has not really been doing too much for him. Arcturus, however, is someone I'm a little bit more worried about. He's been playing a hard reach role, but he's been playing Hibana. He's been playing some more aggressive roles that are more fragger, they're more flex, more fragger-ish roles, and he is not doing well at all. 2 and 11 is a rough scoreline. So yeah, maybe we'll see something sort of pull back in their favor, but it's hard to say at this point. I really think that All4One might have had an easier time. They may not have even had to take it to overtime if Arcturus had stepped up, because there were a lot of times where Corrupt was able to get an easy double kill onto him and Racha because he was not able to get the pick there, and Racha was just not prepared for that refrag. So I definitely think this would be a different situation if Arcturus was doing better. However, also moving back over to Dinger, I mentioned he's playing a little bit more of that heavy supportive role, but he's playing more. He's also on defense playing a little bit more of that sort of flexible support role, who has the potential to frag out, but just hasn't been. He loses most of the engagements he gets into. Given that most of the time he doesn't get into engagements because of that supportive role. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they go about this.
Yeah,
Loading
you do
here. I think Loading was trying to bandit trick that, but they were shooting underneath, and he had to just get away from that as soon as possible. Oh no, he had a glitch where he couldn't put down his bandit batteries, unfortunately.
Oh dang. That's not good.
Yeah, that is unfortunate there. So that wall is going to be pretty much free. And I think Racha might have heard me mention last time how I wasn't really a fan of the commando pick, and he is bringing out the G8 here on IQ.
Yes, a fantastic weapon. He'll take your advice and run with it. So it's down to 1 minute and 30 seconds here. Overtime match point. If All4One can pick this one up, it'll be a good map over, and they'll be able to take it into map 2 with a 1-0 scoreline. Gonna be interesting to see. It's been a slow one. Still, all 5 members of each squad are standing here. It's gonna change pretty soon as we near that minute mark.
Yeah, already up this high. Quartz there going to be the first one to take someone out, and that's actually going to be Racha taken down as the first one for All4One to fall here.
So here we go, minute to go. What is going to happen after that? The IQ down, big engagements to happen here. Backing out just a little bit. I think I'm a little bit behind on the action. I'm going to just wait a minute, see if it catches up.
So we're really just waiting out here. Dinger, they're going to be taken down as well. So not going to have really any effect either here, unfortunately. And now it's up to the 3 big fraggers here of All4One. They're Loading going to add to his tally there, bringing himself up to double digits as he takes down Taro as well, the big fragger of All4One here, and that's going to be Syntax and Bladehawk taking out one respectively. Bladehawk takes out another one, and there's a third for Bladehawk, and All4One close it out 8-6.
Fantastic finish there. They all came together, able to do a great job and some great work. It was really close and a hard-fought victory. I do have to agree with that. That was a very hard-fought victory. Kind of flowed both ways, you know. For a minute there, I thought Ranked might be able to pull this one all the way back, and then at the end there, Bladehawk and his team of All4Ones took it back and ran all the way home with it.
Yeah, and I do want to mention there, Bladehawk is sitting on 19 kills as well, 19 and 8 during this match, doing incredible work there. So So yeah, we're going to take a very short break here in between this next match. Just about 5 minutes. We will be back with our second map, where we will have the potential for All4One to close it out, which will be their actual match pick of Coastline.
We'll see you in a bit, guys. Well, guys, welcome back once again. We're happy to have you here on the ESA Siege League. Tonight has been a crazy one. We've seen some great games. If you just missed it, if you just got here, we had a fantastic game on Clubhouse where All4One was able to just inch ahead at the last moment, taking the win. As we will now go to map 2. Map 2 going to be Coastline. Coastline has been All4One's pick. Let's see if that means they're going to be able to just end things right here. Seal the deal, put the nail in the coffin. I'm joined with the good guy, the good friend. It's Loaf. Loaf, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this ends up going. I mean, it is just it's been so back and forth, and it's been entirely impossible to tell how this is gonna go. It's just totally back and forth between these two teams. But we'll move on to the bans now. Jackal, it's a fairly standard ban. When it comes down to Coastline, it's a very kill heavy site. So you go, or kill heavy map. I'm sorry to say, but you go back to sort of those default bans because they're what you want to go for as a whole.
Hibana going to be taking the bench as well, so both of our attackers will be sitting down. As Jackal and Hibana onto the defense. We will see. Oh boy, is it Valkyrie going to be shut down? All right, so no Valcams to be tossed out the window this time into trees, and I can just never find them. It's so annoying. We'll see who the final defense ban is.
So one thing I want to mention here is I don't really so two things I don't understand. I don't understand. Well, I will say. I will say I kind of understand the Hibana ban on the side of All4One. They don't really want. I can understand why they may not want to get rid of something like Nomad, but I don't really understand on the side of Rank Stars why they got rid of Jackal instead of Nomad. It makes really no sense for me because Nomad has such a massive roam potential that a roam denying potential that getting rid of her is something you should always do because I mean she on a map like this you want to have your roamers to be able to move freely. Yes, getting rid of Jackal is he's not as powerful as a roaming operator as someone like Nomad. Nomad can just completely cut off angles of attack, gives you intel, doesn't give you real-time intel onto where they are, but it does give you a good sound cue. It throws them off into a wall and prevents them from really doing anything effective for a long time. So it's just, I don't know. It's interesting to see how they've just left her up, especially when you have a fairly roam-heavy setup. It looks like coming out from Rank Stars here. You have Dinger, Corrupt, and Quartz here, who all look to be potentially strong roamers there.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a interesting pick there. We'll see if that comes back to bite him in the butt. The Jackal won't be seen, but it will be Nomad to make some noise. Quartz outside looking for an easy pick, won't be finding it. And now here we go. Round 1 on map number 2. Right now, All4One leads 1-0 in the entire spectrum of things. And they're looking to bring that even further. They can end the series now. They just take this map, but I'm sure that Rank Stars is not going to let that happen very easily.
Yeah, no, Rank Stars are definitely looking to prove themselves. I mean, they came so close during the last one that they've got to feel they've either very demoralized or they're ready to just show that they're a lot better now. But oh man, Arcturus there going to show that he's not going to be the weak link this time, going to get the first kill of the match there, taking out Dinger.
Yeah, that's a nice pick for him. He actually struggled in the last game. Did Hibana most of the attacking, and as she's gone, he'll be switching over to the Ash, a very frag-heavy operator, and he'll start off, but it's Bladehawk, the big man from last game, down and out from Quartz, now a 4v4, but that's a lot of utility lost with the Zofia gone.
Yeah, so they are... I mean, getting rid of the Zofia, especially that of Bladehawk, is something really, really important. But the Zofia is just a gun. When it comes down to it, Bladehawk performed really, really well, but during the during the last match, he really started to show up during the defensive side of things. That's really where he started to shine. He pulled himself into double digits and even further up on top of that too. So I definitely think that he could have some impact here during this match, but I don't think taking him out this early is really going to be as impactful. Loading there, getting another kill there onto Taro as well. That's actually 2 big kills. Taking out Taro and Bladehawk is definitely going to put a dent in the attack of All4One. Racha going to be down to a little bit of health there as well. So yeah, it's going to make things really, really hard for All4One now that they've got their 2 main fraggers taken out here, as well as the Nomad before really too much utility was used.
Absolutely. Arcturus now, the man with the frags. He's got 2. The rest of the team has not made noise yet. Syntax on the Dokkaebi. We're going to do something with the EBR, a fantastic DMR. And we'll see if that's going to be effective. So left standing for rank stars will be Quartz, Zach loading 3v3 now as big engagement. Loading takes down Syntax. Down goes the Dokkaebi. Unable to do too much. A big play as Arcturus goes down and all upon Racha. Not a great position to be in for an injured Buck, and it won't be as Quartz finish these things up just as he started them with the frag onto Blade.
Yeah, already Raystar showing that they're not going to go down as easily as they did last time. I mean, they had such a strong fight during the last couple of rounds, and they just don't want things to really fall out of their favor like it did last time. So yeah, we're already seeing a strong showing from them now, and we could potentially, if they continue this momentum, then this could potentially go very much in their favor. I want to see them continue this momentum. I don't want, as much as the back and forth was interesting to watch, I don't really want to see that again.
Yeah, I do feel that. It does take a long time to have that back and forth, and all for, you know, an outcome that is going to happen, whether it's a 7-0 or an 8-7. You know, someone's going to take the dub. Who cares how long it takes? So back again, this time they're going to the kitchen. The kitchen is a very, very interesting objective. Open to the Buck from the top. You could do a lot of damage with the soft breaching onto that floor. We'll see if Racha goes for that. So Taro and Bladehawk both were the first frags there for rank stars to take down. Do you think that played a pretty big part in them taking the round 1?
Yeah, I'm really just kind of looking at the setup here and seeing how they're going to really hold down this top floor control, because it's probably the most important thing for holding down kitchen here, because if as soon as you lose that top floor control and you allow someone, especially like Racha or Taro maybe not as much, but still has that super shorty for some really good for that vertical destruction. But overall, Racha's the real one that they need to worry about here, and if they can prevent Racha from moving in and taking care of business, then they'll have the round basically. Taro, they're going to be very lit up by Quartz there.
Definitely very lit up, down around 15 HP maybe. So a good start so far for rank stars. They're putting a lot of bullets into their enemies. Taro gonna have to play a little bit more defensively as the gridlock drops down very close to being able to shoot that player through the wall, or the door rather. And things have slowed down just a little bit. Still haven't been able to take control of that top floor. Like you said, so important for them to get the Buck up there, really do a lot of damage. And if that doesn't happen, it's going to be a tough take onto kitchen.
Yeah, so Racha is going to be the big player here, and if he does not make a move into VIP or Master here soon, if they don't try to clear that out here in the next couple of moves here, then they're going to have a really rough time. Taro there able to take down Zach though, and that is no more magnets as the Wamai will fall.
Wamai, a solid operator. He's got a pretty good gun and some great gadgets. He will no longer be a threat to the all-in-one team, or excuse me, all-for-one team. Syntax with another frag, but Dinger with a onto him. Dinger with a double kill. Taro falls as well as Dinger is getting some dings. Corrupt goes down to Bladehawk, another big frag for them. Bladehawk going off. It's a 1v3 now.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness. What a play from Dinger. Takes down Arcturus. All upon the Mozzie, left alone. The man who was very quiet in the last game has been making some big noise here.
Now, already 3 kills on this round, doing a lot of good work there, but Bladehawk, actually Racha, my mistake, is going to try and get some shots onto him. Not going to see him rotate all the way over there to that left wall, and it doesn't look like Bladehawk will, as well as Dinger gets a quad kill, and he is looking for the ace here. Racha and Dinger are both one shot from either person's gun here, and it's just a matter of who can win this out. Dinger is trying to see if he can get this fuse off here. Racha is really waiting for him to try and chase after this ace, and it doesn't look like he will be. Dinger is just trying to go for the defuse here, and we're going to see Racha try to swing around and prevent it, but it doesn't look like he will, and Rankstars will disable it and take round number 2.
A very good play there from Dinger. Was able to kind of put enough fear into Racha that he was just gonna hop out and go for that big frag, take the ace. But you know, he said, "I'll put down my ego here. I'm okay with the 4K. I'll just go for the defuse," and that is gonna gain a second win for Rankstars, doing very well at the start of this map.
Yeah, already they're doing a lot of good work. Now, if this continues in the same direction, then I mean they're looking so much better than they did last map. It was just so back and forth between these two, and it's not anymore. It's just completely and heavy-handedly in the favor of Rankstars. I mean, yes, that last round, it was very back and forth, and it came down to a 1v1, but Dinger just showing up like he hadn't ever before is just, it's wonderful to see.
Yeah, right there, already getting more kills than he did, I believe, in the entire game. 4-1 is the man. He's doing a great job. On the other side, Corrupt, a big player yet to speak out anything, still 0-2 for the Jaeger.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Loading, Quartz, and Corrupt really being the 3 main players on the side of Rankstars last round. And so far, they're being kind of quiet so far. I mean, Quartz and Loading so far, they have at least 1 kill per round, but Corrupt is really taking his time to ramp up. Same thing on the side of Taro and Bladehawk. Bladehawk only sitting at 2 kills, Taro at 1, and we see Racha, who was probably, I hate to say it, was for the most part one of the biggest handicaps for All4One for a lot of the time, still sitting down at 0 kills. So, and during that last round, he wasn't able to stop that defuse from Dinger there. So unfortunately, that round is kind of on his back there as well. So I really want to see Racha step up a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big blunder from him. Even Arcturus picking up a couple of frags early on. Both those, I believe, were from the first round. Engagement here. Down for the 3rd time. Here we go. Arcturus with his 3rd frag of the day. Doing a great job. And the Jaeger goes down. A little bit of roaming won't be happening now as he falls.
Yeah, already, I do want to mention, it is round number 3, and he has already matched the amount of kills that he got during the entire last map. That just to show you how underperforming he was during the last map and compared to what he's doing now. He's doing a lot of good work now. He's stepping up like he needed to. I mean, we talked about that. I said, Arcturus, Racha, you guys gotta step up. I mean, they absolutely had to, and they responded, and they're stepping up. They're doing what they needed to do. Dinger as well. Dinger really needed to step up during that last match, and he absolutely has. And there's Arcturus getting his 2nd kill of the round, and that is a 5v3 in the favor of All4One. But very quickly, Loading and Zach even that out as Racha and Taro will fall, and it is now it's now evened out here. Loading, taking a bit of damage, but not too much there. I mean, the 3 armor and the Alda there of Loading still able to do a lot there. Loading finishing off Arcturus as he gets a 3rd kill in the round, taking out Quartz. And that is Loading actually downed as well by Bladehawk. And it's now essentially a 2v1, all to Zach, unless he can pick up Loading here.
Yeah, that would be a big pickup. Of course, the Maestro would be at 20 HP, but with a minute to go, or less than, every single man counts. You're throwing bullets down range, you're stopping the progress, but there's Bladehawk finding the frag, and that'll be a beautiful job by the Zofia to finally get a little bit of a win going for All4One. Now 2-1. Are we going to see this back and forth action again, man? I can feel it. I can feel it coming.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, we've also they just went to essentially the real offsite when it comes to defense on Coast.
True.
Double bar is typically it's typically the weakest site that you see on Coastline. It's not always the weakest site, and you'll see that kind of shift. Sometimes you'll see Coastline flip to very attacker side. You'll see it flip to more defender side. It all depends on the teams that are playing and how they play it. It's not definite one way or the other. It's just it's however it goes. And with how that I've seen Rank Stars and All4One play, I think that Rank Stars can pull this out because Rank Stars overall, they have a lot more overall fragging power, while All4One has 2 very strong fraggers of Taro and Bladehawk. It's spread a lot more through Rank Stars. I mean, you have Quartz, you have Corrupt, you have Dinger, and you have Loading, who can all potentially do a lot of good work. Corrupt has been struggling a little bit, and to really make any sort of impact here. I mean, he's been really some of the opening kills here for All4One. I mean, he's died every single round so far, even the ones that Rank Stars have won. So, I mean, he's on that roaming role. It's kind of expected if he dies, but usually on that roaming role, your 2 biggest things are you want to get at least 1 kill and you want to waste as much time of the attack as you possibly can. You want to just make them spend as much time clearing things out and trying to hunt you down as possible so they have less time to set up their attack and to actually attack. So so he's not really been doing that job. He's been dying fairly early on and he hasn't gotten any kills so far. So hopefully we'll see that change as the match progresses.
Absolutely. And I think based on his track record, I do have faith in that he can come back. He was the top fragger for Rank Stars, I believe. Well, for the majority of the game, he had top fragger spot for the entire map, but they did take that away as Bladehawk went absolutely off of the dying few rounds. Let's see if he's going to be able to continue. Arcturus now is leading the lobby in kills with 5, and he definitely wants to continue that. Doing a much better job on Ash than he was with Hibana. He's really struggling there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Taro able to get the 1st kill there, taking out Quartz, and that's a big kill for them as well. Quartz been doing a lot of good work here, and on that dock as well. That ACOG on the MP5 is a very powerful weapon to try and deal with. So taking him out pretty early on is going to do a lot of good work. Now they do see Zach there at the top of Cool Vibe Stairs. They're gonna try and figure out a way to deal with him. They don't really have any good way of doing that, especially with that ADS sitting at the top of the stairs there. They could potentially try to burn that out and then get a nade up there, and it looks like Roch is going to do just that, but Zach is there able to get the kill, but Arcturus frags it right on back, and it's now a 4v3, but Loading there. A nasty little kill there onto Syntax, tries to take down Arcturus as well. Not going to be able to land the shots just yet, but Bladehawk takes down Corrupt, and Dinger is down as well. So it is just really up to Loading here on very low HP. This is already looking like All4One's round.
It really is. I mean, the man doesn't have the HP to take out a 1v3. Unless he does, then I'll be eating my words very B2. Take down Arcturus, but there he goes. It'll be the gridlock Taro to take him down and finish round 4, tying it back up 2-2.
Yeah, and I was hoping we were getting away from that back and forth that we saw constantly from that last match, but it looks like it's right on back and into it here as they're now tied up 2-2. They're going to be doing the one thing that I dislike the most, and that's going to be duplicating sites. They didn't do it before after losing Double Bar, and I was like, okay, I see that you recognize that, hey, Double Bar isn't a very strong site. Let's just leave it and move on. And they're just going right on back into it. I can't entirely blame them. It's one of the strongest sites for defense, period. That's just how it goes. I mean, it just is one of the strongest sites of defense, and I'm just glad to see it. I'm glad to see them try and make it work, but I think probably the biggest part of it is they're losing their roamers too early. I mean, Quartz going down early, Corrupt as well, without really making any sort of impact. And once again, Corrupt down with no kills whatsoever. I mean, at least you have Zach is the only one not going at the very least, even besides Corrupt. But Corrupt sitting at 0 kills on round number 5 is definitely something to be a little bit worried about. Same for Racha and Syntax. They do have Bladehawk and Arcturus really carrying that weight for them, but that was the same sort of thing before. They have a couple of players carrying the weight on the team, and that's it. Oh, that's all they do. They worry about the 1 or 2 players carrying that weight, and they just go from there. So if they're able to start distributing, like I mentioned it last map as well, if they're able to start distributing that fragging power and they're starting able to work more as a team, then they're going to have a lot more of an explosive rise to that victory rather than this back and forth tug of war that we see between them.
Yeah, it really does feel like most of the matches. Ooh, big shot is that's the Ash going down. Arcturus taken out as Corrupt finally finds his first frag, and Dinger also opens up. Taro falling. Is this looking good to go for Rankstars? A 5v3. Corrupt gonna get tagged up under half HP now. And the ping on the wall. They shoot through that, but there's a destruction coming from above.
There's Corrupt finally showing up now, taking down Racha as well. And Taro is going to be taken down as well, I believe, looking at the scoreboard correctly. That is by Dinger. So that is going to be that's going to be a really good killer. So now it's up to Bladehawk and Syntax to really do any work here. And if there's anyone, it's Bladehawk, but Syntax has really been struggling. 1 and 3 only so far. There's been 1 round he hasn't died, and he's only been able to get 1 kill. And it looks like it's going to be all up to him here as Loading is able to drop down Bladehawk. And yeah, that's going to be entirely unfortunate for him. He's going to see Syntax there, and that is a flawless round for Rankstars. And they will head up now 3-2. They have potential to pull this up to a 4-2 defensive half. That is the most ideal position they can be in here. And it's the typical position you want to be in coming off of defense, because then you have a little bit of leeway going into the next half. You can lose a couple attacking rounds and still be fine. The ideal situation is a 4-2 defensive half. We saw the same thing happen really during the last match, except it went up 3-1 before All4One started pulling it back. But they're heading to Kitchen Service now, and so far they have a 1-0 record on this site. 2-1 record on Billiards, which they just went, and an 0-1 record on Bar. So far, this is the best win rate that they have on any site, period. So statistically, this is the best chance they have to pull this up to a 4-2.
And they're definitely going to want to do that. Like you said, a very, very good power position to have a little bit of insurance, because, you know, you are going to struggle a little bit most likely on offense. It's always hard to make that switch. You know, you come from a nice, safe place where you're defending and you're stacking up and you're getting ready to go, and all of a sudden you have to be the one to get in there and start trying to take down those utilities and those hard walls and all these crazy people with crazy angles, and that can take a lot out of you. So we'll see if they're going to be able to take this win, give themselves a little bit of extra breathing room. But at the same time, it's All4One who wants to tie things up and keep it very close, keep the pressure on, as they will be switching over to the defensive side in just a moment after this round.
Yeah, so, and it's where we saw All4One kind of come back into their own a little bit. They seemed a little bit more organized, but it looks like they're just going all for a rush into service here, and because it doesn't look like there's much support there, but Zach there with the double kill with the C4 is going to be able to rush in and take down Taro before Bladehawk finally refrags, and it's a 4-on-2 now as the down will almost come out onto course there, but he's Doc, he's a 3-over, he can tank a bunch there. Corrupt takes down Bladehawk, and that is the most botched rush I think I've seen in a long time.
That was a massacre. Oh my goodness, Loaf. What happened?
That was Zach there recognizing the rush happened and just absolutely shutting it down, loading there, finishing it off, and that is Rank Stars pulling themselves up 4-2. All4One just kind of throwing that round away. I mean, they're like, hey, they don't really have a really hard defense set up in service. Let's see if we can rush it. But here's the thing. They had Zach in the perfect position to leave it to where, hey, it doesn't look like we have a solid defense here, but we do. We have someone that can still watch us without being right there on it. I mean, that's what you want to have. So now All4One's going to be on defense. Now they have to pull off a 4-2 half in order to pull this to overtime, and a 5-1 half in order to win this out. They have to win 5 rounds at the very least if they want a chance to win this, which means they're only allowed to lose a singular round if they want the chance to pull this to anything other than overtime. And Rank Stars, they're 3 wins away from taking this and pulling us to a 3rd map, which I actually didn't mention at the beginning, will be Villa.
Yes, it will be. 3rd map could be Villa, but oh boy. Our broadcaster does not want it to be Villa, so he's cheering all on. We've seen this kind of 2-round comeback. You know, I believe it happened with Rank Stars at the beginning, had that 2-0 lead, All4One pulled it back, and now Rank Stars once again 2-0. Is that going to continue? The big question as the defense switch is over to All4One. Are they going to be able to win 2 in a row and just keep this neck and neck level all the way back to an exact replay of what we saw before? Or will Rank Stars just kind of take the ball and run?
Well, I think something else to mention as well is looking at how this has been played so far. You have a lot of frags on the side of All4One. I mean, total, looking through it, you have around 17 kills on the side for All4One in total. Looking over at the side of Rank Stars, you have 25 kills. They're sitting up around, they're sitting 8 kills higher than All4One is, and that's 2 rounds ahead. That seems about right. You would maybe see a 10 kill deficit if there wasn't the 1 round that you had the defuse and a couple of rounds where you had a couple players still up just based off the time. But regardless, frags seem to have a lot more impact on the defense than they do on the offense, because they didn't have to have all of those kills, because you have the opportunity to defuse after you get the diffuser down on the defense. So if we see All4One start pulling out more kills here on the defense, then they definitely can start pulling this together. But if we still see the same lackluster performance from Racha and Syntax, and Taro as well. Taro has not been really pulling his weight. As I say, though, he is going to be naded out there by Quartz, continuing on that rather lackluster performance so far. Another nade sails up, almost takes down Racha as well, and that's actually going to be taken out by Corrupt there as he turns away, and he's going to sit on the 0-6 here on round number 7.
Yeah, that is not good for him. They've been leaving all of this pressure upon Bladehawk, and Arcturus Blade is going to eat quite a bit of damage. The P and Aroni trying to do some kind of work, but it'll be a good kill from Bladehawk to take down Corrupt. Finally, Arcturus as well follows up with a kill onto Zach. Now a 3v2. Things looking a little bit better, but Bladehawk down to the buckets. Oh, sting upon Arcturus and his Og.
And he is able to stop the plant there as Dinger just completely is oblivious to him moving in there. So they're going to have to try and rush and grab this diffuser away from the side of Arcturus, as he's just sitting here holding a corner here and trying to wait things out. He is able to get another kill there onto loading as well. He does take a bit of damage from the window there, and he knows where Quartz is now. And he's going to, I think he's probably going to wait Quartz out here now, because Quartz has no more nades. Quartz has to swing in and get this diffuser if he wants to do anything, but a nasty little shot there from Quartz will take down Arcturus in the 1v1, and Rank Stars take round number 7.
Yeah, I think that's huge for them there. They're really starting to pull away now. They have a 3-round lead, I believe, at this point, and that's going to hurt All4One. They have to win a lot of rounds here, and most likely it's going to definitely go into overtime unless they're able to just sweep, you know, the rest of these and take it all the way 5 rounds and no losses. That's going to be tough for them to do.
Yeah, 5 rounds from here on out, and they cannot lose a singular one. That is near impossible to do, especially with the performance that we've been seeing from these guys. I want to say I believe in them, but when it comes down to it, they just have not been performing like they need to. They need to be performing a little bit better than they are currently in order to really pull this out. Now, we could see a complete and total shift from them. We kind of did see that later on in the match from them back on Clubhouse. And if we see that from them, they definitely still have a chance to come into this. But 5 rounds in a row to win this out. They still have to win 4 at the very least to guarantee overtime. But it's looking grim for them right now. Stars is only 1 round away from securing overtime and 2 from winning this out.
Yeah, and definitely after switching over to defense, they're still doing a great job of kind of dominating these guys. And that's going to be tough on the mentality that they have as well. I mean, think about, you know, being Roger Syntax right now. You're 1-6, you're 0-for-6, you're struggling so much. Taro right along with him. He had a great game in Clubhouse. Now you're not doing as well as you need to. That can take a toll on to, you know, how you're thinking and how you're going to react to a lot of different situations.
Yeah, definitely here. And Quartz has been showing up a little bit more, but Corrupt and Corrupt, Dinger, and Loading have been the 3 main players here. Dinger, who was really sleeping, was really sort of a sleeper during the last match. He was playing very hard support roles. He was not on a fragging roll in any sense during about the entire map. I think he had maybe 2 or 3 kills during that entire last map. But as it says, Taro able to get another kill there to try and even up his spread there, and is able to take down Corrupt there, who's been a pretty big impact here for Rank Stars.
Definitely a big pick there. Take down Corrupt. He has been such a deadly force. But like you said, you know, you still have Dinger doing a whole lot of work. Zach with that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say with the F2 as well there. I mean, such a powerful gun. Loading the G8 as well. I mean, I will ring the G8's praises until I die, because that weapon is incredibly powerful, and it doesn't see enough use in tier 3. Although I got a question on Ratcha's side, the P90 ACOG play. I gotta question it just a little bit there.
Yeah, you don't really see the P90 even in casual matches, I swear. Hardly ever. Maybe it's because he's got that lovely skin on it and he wanted to flex a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, a friend of mine who plays for the University of Cincinnati's team, plays with the P90 in just about every single game that he can, and for some reason it works for him so incredibly well. It makes absolutely no sense, but he just knows how to play it, and he uses all 50 of those bullets to his advantage. So we may see Racha do that. I mean, he's been a very big underperformer for All4One, and this may be what he needs, a little bit of a switch up from the normal meta, because he's been playing a little bit closer to that meta in the operators that he's been playing. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, hey, I'm going to change things up a little bit. What's normal has not been working for me. Let me change that up and see if that can work. Racha there actually able to get his first kill there, taking out Quartz there with that P90. So already starting to make a bit of an impact there, as it's a 5v3 man advantage, a 5v2 as Bladehawk takes down Loading, and it's all up to Dinger and Zach here, who are both upstairs in Aqua, looking to go ahead and get ready for this plant.
Plant gonna come down, excuse me, pretty soon. You've got some great denial, but oh, a chuck by the smoke. That is gonna do some damage. Gridlock down to around 25 HP. Dinger eating it as well. He'll be down to 25 too. Goes out to Syntax. A good kill, second for him. All up on Zach, and defenders win round 8. A great job, as they're taking it just a little bit back. You know, they're 1 out of 5 ways to take this all the way home. Just 4 more to go, and they can win it all.
Yeah, and here's the thing. All4One, they won their 1v1s that time, and that's exactly what they needed. They got a good opening pick. They were able to win their 1v1s, and that is what they need. A lot of the times you see people in All4One losing their ones, and I hate to mention it, Arcturus, Racha, and Taro. 3 people that should definitely be winning their ones. I mean, they're on fairly frag-heavy operators most of the time. Most of the time, we're not winning them. They were not able to get really any meaningful frags throughout most of the match, and it was just not working in their favor whatsoever. But now, able to do a little bit more now is... that's what won them around. They were able to do more during that round than they have in the past. And they worked more as a team instead of just having Bladehawk or Taro or Arcturus carry them.
That was a good round for them. They were able to work together, like you said, do a great job. A beautiful play with the P90, I have to say. I was a little bit worried, but he did it, and he got it done like a boss. So now down to the kitchen, we saw a very, very interesting round come out when these guys were on the offensive side. I don't think that Rank Stars will go for that. Maybe they will, who knows? Just show them how it's done. But with a couple of seconds left, they're going to be doing something, as you will see that hold on the second floor to make sure the soft floor does not absolutely become a whole bunch of death traps.
Yeah, so they're looking here. They're really looking here to get a good opening pick, because that's on the attack. You want an opening pick to sort of start that momentum, start that ball rolling in your favor. And if you can do that, that's when things start going where you take out one anchor, you start getting control of different areas. Through that, you can get control of other areas and slowly start pushing your way forward. So, yeah, this is we'll see how this goes for them, and if they're able to get that opening pick, because they didn't get it last round, and that's sort of what started All4One's that's what started All4One's push up into winning that round.
You saw Corrupt fall in the last round, and that definitely gave them the space they needed. Still, you know, 2 minutes to go, and a frag has not been seen yet. Most likely gonna come soon. Blackhawk ready to go. He's watching those stairs. He feels like there's someone there. Are we gonna be able to find someone? That's a different question entirely. Go back off a little bit. The P10 Roni, once again, his weapon of choice, and big shots coming out. Not sure who yelled, but they didn't take any damage there. Holes are going to be coming down now from the Buck.
Yeah, with no vertical control here, they're going to pretty easily be able to flush out any anchors that can potentially prevent a push and a plant, especially into service here, as they're pretty much able to open up that entire avenue into bathroom and just above there. Quartz, though, able to get the first kill there on the Syntax.
A good kill indeed. Zach does get tagged up pretty well. He's low HP, around 20 if I had to guess. But like you said, it's looking good. Bladehawk with a beautiful C4 from loading, excuse me, as he'll even things out. Maybe a bit of an HP advantage goes to All4One. But the definite advantage of having that upstairs control is going to go to the Rank Stars. But a 40-second match to go, and they're going to need to make a push in pretty darn quickly.
Yeah, and they really haven't done any job of clearing out downstairs, because it seems like they were focusing on trying to get a service push here. But with Bladehawk sitting in bathroom, as well as one member over in security, they still have a lot of work to do. Quartz, however, is going to be able to take down Bladehawk. Now really all they have to worry about is the one member over in security, but Dinger there through the wall, able to see the legs of Taro, and is going to take him out there. And Zach going to move on in and get that plant down, and we're going to see the run out there from Racha there, able to take one down. Arcturus takes down Zach, prevents that plant from going down. Quartz and Corrupt the only ones here.
Oh my
Arcturus
goodness.
back down behind the desk, takes down Quartz as well. It's all up to Corrupt here in a 1v2. No control of the diffuser, and All4One take round number 9. Push themselves up to a 5-4.
What a good job from 2 of the underperformers. As we've said, Arcturus has been up there this game, but they definitely were able to hold their own. That would have been no bueno. They would have gone, I believe, 6-3 if they lost that. Instead, they're still trying to inch their way back. Now only 1 round away from tying things up. They've yet to lose a defensive round since we talked about them having to win 5 in a row.
Yeah, they are. They haven't lost a single one, and they're already. So this is where I think it's either this is going to make or break it for them. They have to go to blue bar. They have to go to double bar. This is statistically the weakest site for the defense in just about in Pro League, Challenger League, in just about any sense. It is easily the single weakest defense site out there. So this is make or break time for All4One. They lose it here, they have to go to overtime at the very least. But they've lost this, and then they have to go back to billiards, where they were not able to win. Or no, they were able to win it on billiards. What am I saying? They lost the first time on billiards. Yes. So with a 50% win rate on billiards, it'll be interesting to see where it goes, because even so, if they lose this, it's a toss-up as to where it's going to go. If they win this, I think All4One can potentially pull it all the way to a they can pull it all the way to a 6-5 and potentially pull it all the way out to a 7-5 here. I mean, if they can win this round right here, again, it's the make or break round. They win this and they can absolutely still win it. If they lose this, it's still up in the air and we'll probably see this head to overtime.
So what you're saying is there's a whole lot of pressure on these guys now. Definitely don't want to go to overtime, even less so go to a map 3 when they have a chance to shut them down here. Looks like Racha caught a couple of bullets. I think that was just from the opening plays there. Heartbeat sense going off. We might see some kind of C4 play coming up soon from Syntax. So they start to get a little bit closer. He'll try to chuck that over. Mozzie doing a good job of shutting down a lot of that information. He'll catch a drone, kind of a sacrifice drone there, as we'll see some good information from loading. Minute and 59 to go. Things still have been very slow. Nothing else has happened other than a little bit of damage taken from Racha.
Yeah, already here they're looking to try and take this rather quickly, and with no one really to contest up here on the top floor, they're gonna have an easy time of getting vertical control.
A very easy time. Gonna rain down Hellfire in just a moment. That is not team, and they still got good time, but there's Bladehawk placed C4 to take down Dinger. Down goes the Nomad, and because of that, looks like a big push coming upstairs, trying to retake what they lost, but down goes Racha. Corrupt with a beautiful shot. And he's heading down, looking at the cool vibes stairs. Will he spot someone else? Zach now doing some good roam denying.
Yeah, that gridlock there, I mean, that's exactly what it's for. It's for preventing that roam, slowing people down, and trying to give a little bit of intel and prevent any sort of roam up towards your position.
Good shot from Archers there. Nice to see him. He's going off this game. He's 12 and just 7. I think that he still has the highest amount of kills in the game. Just very close to Bladehawk now, who has 11. He's doing so good, and I'm glad to see that. He's really kind of found his footing here. But will the rest of his team find theirs? Like you said, Taro, who is such a big player in the last game, has been fairly silent, excuse me. And Syntax still not really doing what he needs to do. Oh, yeah, as I say that.
As you say that, he does take out one of loading. Arcturus takes down Zach as well for the double kill, but he is down in the process. Taro there just spraying out, preventing the last minute push there from Corrupt, and Bladehawk will be able to finish him out. All4One take round number 10, and they have done the impossible, what seemed like the impossible, and they have tied it up. They have tied it up. They have won. They have won 3 rounds now in a row. They are 2 rounds away from winning this. They have tied this up. What seemed impossible, a 5-2 lead coming out from Rank Stars, just absolutely thrown away.
Thrown away, that is a perfect term to use. They just have lost it. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because, maybe a little bit of better teamwork happening for All4One, whatever it is. You're right. They're sitting on the precipice of someone is going to match point this round. Whatever happens, someone's going to be 6 and someone's still going to be 5, and that will be huge. You mentioned that you think they have a good chance now that they've kind of crested that hill of taking the double bar. This very well could be an All4One game.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. I mean, they could close this out right here and now. They're heading back to billiards. So far, only a 50% win rate so far on this map. Not really the best to speak of. I mean, they went 1-1. It was their very first round. They ended up losing on it. They repeated it, and they were able to take it pretty heavy-handedly. So I gotta say, despite statistically and not being the best map for them, they're sitting much, much better than they were. I definitely think they have a good potential to take this round, and I mean, this is looking like it could very easily be an All4One match right here, right now. I mean, the comeback from them has been absolutely insane.
Yeah, that momentum that we've been talking about a bit definitely shifted now. It was with Rank Stars as they were able to pull away, but now All4One has got the ball rolling back, and it's going to be a struggle to stop that rolling stone. It's going to be up to Rank Stars to do it. Corrupt has been underperforming compared to what he did last game, and I think that might be a big reason as to why they haven't already put these guys in a very, very tough position. It's been really Quartz and Loading, as well as Giger, carrying a significant amount of weight.
Yeah, they were going to see Racha get found out there by Quartz down below with that buck and going to push him off of his spot there. He's going to be down really, really low, but as the dock there, he's going to be able to heal himself back up. So, not too much to worry there. The P90 through the floor there is going to try and is going to do a little bit of damage to Quartz, but not really enough to really write home about just yet. So they're still kind of in that stalemate now. They're going to be setting up for preventing those downstairs rotates. Probably the biggest thing they're going to be worried about is a C4 from below from someone like Bladehawk. That's probably going to be the biggest thing they're worried about here. Is so long as they can prevent Bladehawk from getting underneath and getting a C4 off, then they can easily plant in that default position, especially now that that Bladehawk isn't downstairs as he normally is. He's still sitting over in VIP.
You know, a lot of beautiful C4s have come from Bladehawk, and they're definitely said he's not really in a place to utilize that underneath big C4. In fact, it's still Quartz able to open up a little bit more here. We'll see as they continue to move in. So it's still a 5v5 though, with a minute and 20 to go. A very, very slow round. I think we've been seeing a lot more slow rounds this game. At least it feels like guys have been lasting a 5v5 all the way to the final minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely feels like it's been taking a lot longer for them to do things. But I think that's also to the fact that they've been taking things a lot more cautiously. And they're... And I think that's them learning that, hey, we need to take things a little bit slower if we want to win this. Taro and Bladehawk, though, going to get a kill each there and going to go ahead and start pushing things in their favor. Corrupt, they're going to take a lot of damage there from across the way from Taro. And we're going to see Bladehawk trying to get the rotate as well. Corrupt takes down Taro running back in. Another one there from Syntax, or onto Syntax, my mistake there. And almost another one there onto Arcturus as well.
Arcturus will just dodge it, but Racha down to Quartz, and all of a sudden, this has turned around. C4 comes out, not going to find anybody. A beautiful run out. It's a one. It's Zach versus Bladehawk. This is going to be tough. Zach has half the amount of kills, but he is in a bit of a nicer position. He can get the plant down, try to get a little bit of distance. Will he do it? It looks like he will. Bladehawk knows he's down, and it's all upon him. And there's a shot from Zach. A beautiful finish as he'll be able to take round 11. Zach is the man to give a loss to right now as he's taken his team from 5-5 to 6-5, putting them in match point on round number 12.
Yeah, and with that, Rank Stars have ended the 3-round drought and have finally gotten a round under their belt, and they're going to be heading back to Hookah Billiards. Now, statistically, this has worked out for All4One. So, yeah, this is honestly up in the air. This is where All4One are gonna make or break it. It came down to a 1v1, and honestly, it looked like All4One had that. It absolutely looked like All4One had that. So I honestly think that they're gonna be able to pull it to overtime here.
All right. Well, it's gonna be a long night if they don't, and we see a map 3. Because these teams have been just locked head-to-head like two rams battling for dominance. It has been just back and forth the whole time. This game, a little bit a longer of a back and forth, you know, those 3-round leads each. But still, they're just neck and neck, just chomping at each other. And it very well may continue if All4One is able to continue their beautiful defense and keep it going into overtime. 6-6 could be a big possibility.
Yeah. So I don't know. This can it's gonna be interesting how they play this out, because I honestly have no idea how this is going to go. I mean, I really don't. I feel like All4One is going to be able to pull this back, because it was so close. They had such a dominant play up until that very last sort of part of the round there. So I think if they're able to just sort of fix a couple little mistakes they had here or there, they can definitely win this out. But I honestly don't know. I mean, this is the first round Rank Stars have been able to win in a 3-round drought. They lost 3 rounds in a row and threw away a 3-round lead. They had a 5-2 lead. We're 2 rounds away from winning it out, and they just absolutely threw it away. So I honestly, I am hesitant to put my faith in Rank Stars.
Something I'm noticing here, if we just take a look at the kills that are up, you see that Rank Stars have a much more even spread, 9-8, 7-7-8. Well, over in All4One, it's 14, 14, 5, 3, 2. You really do see how much work and how much pressure has been put upon Bladehawk and Arcturus. So much. And if they come crashing down, you know, really the whole team could follow. I think the problem with All4One, if one of those two get picked off, they have a significant worse chance of being able to bring it all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same with the last map as well, except instead of Arcturus, it was Taro. And it was Bladehawk and Taro. If we saw both of them go down, the round was over. It was absolutely over for them. And it was... Yeah, Yeah, it's as you mentioned, it's very, very evened out on Rank Stars. I mean, they have a very evened out kill spread. They work well as a team unit, whereas on the side of All4One, you don't see that. You see it's Bladehawk and Arcturus. It's the Bladehawk and Arcturus show for this map, and no one else really matters. Yeah, having those other players there to support helps, but overall, it doesn't matter that much. As I said, the Arcturus is going to be taken out by Corrupt, not before being refragged there by Racha. So, I mean, that's one of the big players already down here. I mean, Bladehawk is still up and can still make a big impact here, but Quartz is also going to take down Racha, and it's already 4v2. And again, Bladehawk is still up, but it's a 1v4, and it looks like we are very, very close to seeing a map number 3 here. It's all up to Bladehawk. He does take down one of Zach, but they are going to know exactly where he is now. C4 comes out. It does take down Quartz, and now it's a 1v2. This is much more doable now for Bladehawk. Plant does go down, putting it in a post-plant situation, making this much more difficult for him as he is now on the clock.
The pressure is on for Bladehawk. He's got to make it out there, not only take down 2 pretty well healthed up players, but he's also then gonna have to defuse the plant as it's you know, nearing just 20 seconds. It's not looking very good for him, especially with his health nearing the 50% mark.
And there it is. There it is. Dinger there is going to finish out that round and is going to finish off that map. And that is going to put it at an even 1-1. And we are going to get ready to head on now into map number 3, which will be Villa. And I believe we're going to take another short break before getting into it. Just want to confirm, or are we going to be going right into it, Cthulhu? Yeah, so we will be going into a very short break, and we will be right back here with map number 3. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are here now with the final map of this matchup between Rank Stars and All4One, who are now tied 1-1 here in this series. And we will be heading over to Villa. I am Loaf, and I am joined here still with the wonderful Slayzilla. And this has been a match, to say the least. This is, I honestly have no idea how long this is going to go.
It's already gone very long. I mean, say the least is an understatement. Even I don't know how much to say. It's gone for so long. It's been so close. Both of these teams have just been in this grueling deadlock. They get a lead, then they pull the lead back, and all of a sudden, nobody knows who's going to be going off. Rank Stars were able to bring it all the way back. I mean, they had a big lead, then they lost the lead, and then they were able to finish it up. It's crazy, but they did win on Coastline, which means we're here on Villa. Bands coming out. What are we gonna see? Goodbye,
so
Maverick
band. So on the defense, that actually makes sense. I do want to mention though, I'm actually not a huge fan of the Maverick ban. I would have rather seen a Hibana ban. So a Buck ban as well coming out from All4One. So my reasoning behind Hibana ban, there are really only two situations where you really see hard breach being necessary on Villa, and that is on Aviator Games and in Trophy Statuary, and it's that master bedroom wall, and it's the walls and study. The reasoning behind wanting a Hibana banned out is because with Hibana, yes, you don't have quite as much breaching power as, say, a Maverick or even a Thermite. With Maverick and Thermite, you have to get right up against that wall, and both of those walls have the ability to both impact trick and throw nitro cells over. And you're a lot safer from that if you use a Hibana. Maverick and Thatcher, or not Thatcher, and Thermite, you have to be right up next to it when you're placing that charge. They can be impact tricked. You can throw nitro cells, take care of the hard breacher. It's much easier to deal with than a Hibana. Hibana is someone who's really, really difficult to deal with because she can stand all the way, like as far back as even the window on master bedroom and even the door there on study, and open up those walls and not really have to worry about anything. But with the downside of having not quite as much breaching power as someone like a Thermite or even potentially a Maverick.
She definitely does kind of sacrifice that power for the range that she has as we are getting on in. And now we'll be seeing Rank Stars starting off on defense and All4One on offense. So, Loaf, in the past couple of games, we've seen, I feel like a lot of, there's been a couple players who have been solid the whole way through. I think Corrupt and Bladehawk have been both kind of the foundations of these teams. But the rest of them just seem to go off and then not go off. And what's going to happen here? I have no clue what to expect from these guys.
Yeah, neither do I, because I mean it's been absolutely back and forth. We've seen typically the same sort of set of fraggers has been pretty consistent. You'll see typically on the side of Rank Stars, you'll see Corrupt loading Cords. They're usually the main three fraggers on the side of Rank Stars. We saw Dinger stepping it up a little bit. But overall on Rank Stars, it's very evenly spread out. On the side for All4One, you have really the two main have been Bladehawk and Taro. Bladehawk being the really main one, although Arcturus and Taro have been kind of inconsistent. Taro wasn't as strong of a fragger during the last match, or during the very first map, and Taro wasn't a very strong fragger during the second map, but both of them picked it up during the opposite of each map. So it'll be interesting to see what we see for these players, because it's so inconsistent from All4One, and Rank Stars. I still don't even know what to expect from them. And they brought it all the way to overtime on map 1, and they were able to stave off an amazing comeback from All4One on map number 2. So yeah, it's going to be interesting there as Arcturus is able to get the first 2 heals, taking out Dinger and loading there.
and that is your Maestro and your Jaeger taken out very, very early. Already a 5v3 in favor of All4One here.
Yeah, so say goodbye to Evil Eyes being a pesky, menacing zap to the booty. No more Maestro means you're not going to be harassed as much. And that was a beautiful job from Arcturus. Looks like he's still going to be a strong guy. C4 goes up, and Quartz finds the kill. Corrupt as well, going to clean up. That's Blackhawk and Taro, both of the two fraggers from the first game, gone. 3-3 now.
Yeah, no, they're already tied at 3-3, and two of the big fraggers are already down. Now, Arcturus is still someone you got to worry about here. He can still do a lot of damage here, but Zach there is just going to turn and take down Racha as we see Arcturus starting to move on in there. And it looks like Quartz is going to be able to down Syntax, and Zach going to be able to clean up Arcturus. And a round that looked like was going in the favor of All4One has very quickly turned around and is now Rank Stars round win.
That went really fast. I mean, it started off with two beautiful opening picks from Archers, but all of a sudden, a C4 and a frag from Corrupt changed the entire momentum, and one after another, we saw the rest of All4One fall. So a defensive round win on round one.
Yeah, so again, I have no idea where this is going to go, because with All4One, you mentioned you take out their fraggers, they can't do much. So how often are ranked going to be able to take out All4One's fraggers? Because that is the determining factor into how they're going to play. I mean, it's just...
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
it is
used by
extremely
attackers.
hard to tell with this team how things are going to go. And...
Mm-hmm.
I really want to be able to talk a lot more about where I predict this is going to go, but I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue, and it's as I mentioned, it's a matter of how often are ranked going to be able to take down Bladehawk and Arcturus. I mean that's really what it comes down to, is how often are they going to be able to take them out. It's not a matter of, oh, can they take out this utility here or there. It's like, no, it's who's going to be the first to take out Bladehawk, or how often are they going to be able to take down Bladehawk.
5 seconds. Insertion.
Absolutely. I think it's kind of interesting because we're seeing two really different, I guess, play styles. I'm not sure if they're shooting for this in the case of All4One, but Rank Stars really have had that even spread, like you were mentioning. All of them are viable options. You know, they can pull themselves up in clutch if they need to. While it really does base a lot of this team's weight and a lot of this team's attacking power onto just a few. A beautiful jump out, gonna miss a couple of shots and will be punished. Quartz down by big man Nomad.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a pretty big kick for them there. But as you mentioned, Rank Stars is a very spread out kill wise team. You don't have one star fragger. You have a couple people that tend to shine a little bit more than the rest, but it's very, very spread out.
I think we have a good game. You know, whatever. And fun. It's just I almost feel impatient. You know, I'm like I want to see what's gonna happen. I want to know, and we just have to go through these opening rounds where everything's being set up, the pace of the game established right here.
Attackers have
And oh
located
boy,
a
is it
bomb.
exciting!
Yeah, it's. I don't know. My biggest worry here is. Can All4One actually really recover from losing Bladehawk or Arcturus consistently? Because they're the keys in all this. I mean, they are absolutely the keys in all this. I mean, and we may see that shift. We may see Taro also become a viable factor. Now, if we see Taro also step up, I think that All4One has good potential, and they can potentially hold up a little bit better up against Rank Stars in losing a couple of those people, because if they have 3 big fraggers, then it's not quite as concentrated. You don't have as much really to worry about.
I can totally agree with that. And right now it's Taro and Arcturus leading. I know it's so early on, but they both have 2 frags to their name right now, which is pretty big here. They're doing a good job, and in this round in particular, Rank Stars only has 3 guys left, but we've seen it before. We've seen huge plays come back with just 3 guys left, and it very well may happen now. Unfortunately, no C4 to be seen here anymore, so we won't be having a great play like that.
Bomb located by attackers.
It's Yeah, I'm just at a loss of words as to what to really talk about here. Besides the action, is Zag there? A great double kill is going to even out the playing field. Loading, taking down Taro as well. That's Syntax, Arcturus, and Taro down. And it's all up to Bladehawk and Racha, and Bladehawk falls, and that's the round for All4One. Hate to say it, but Racha is not a very good I am just eating my words in real time as Racha gets a quick double kill, taking down both Corrupt and Dinger, but Rank Stars there are going to win out on time. And there it goes. I ate my words in real time because Racha has been really underperforming so far during this match, and he just completely showed me up there.
I'm liking what I'm seeing now. You know, if these squads and these teams can both like pick themselves up, right now you see a 2-0 lead for ranked, but I honestly feel like at the way these guys are going, if they can continue to kind of just improve themselves, All4One's going to keep pulling it back, and we're going to be stuck in once again a very long match, or excuse me, a very long overtime map.
Yeah. Now, again, we've seen All4One pull themselves back. It's absolutely happened. Even during the last map, I mean, they went down 5-2, pulled it back up to a 5-5, and ended up losing, unfortunately, at a 7-5. But I don't know. They really need to start. They need to start showing up more, and Bladehawk needs to make more of an impact. Syntax has never really made a very strong impact overall. He's sat pretty squarely towards the bottom of the leaderboard, same as Racha, but Racha's really started stepping up a little bit here, sitting evenly with Arcturus and Taro, but Bladehawk sitting on the 0 right now is definitely something to be a little bit worried about. Now, Dinger as well, sitting on 0 as well, has he's died both rounds, hasn't been able to get a single kill, and on that Jaeger roll, he's been on that he's been on that more fragger-sided role, and he hasn't been able to really have a ton of impact.
Absolutely. In the case of Bladehawk has been such a staple of this team. Both of the previous games, he was one of the top fraggers, always up there on the leaderboard. And to see him, you know, like 0-2 is a little bit reminiscent of what happened to Corrupt at the beginning of the last game, where he was struggling just a little bit. He was able to pick up the pace, but will it be too little too late by the time Bladehawk does that?
Yeah, I honestly don't know, but we are seeing a good top floor cold coming out here from Corrupt as well, and that's probably one of the most important things for a hold of this site is a good top floor presence. You have Quartz and Corrupt here, two of probably the best people you want to have here holding this top floor. Corrupt going to get lit up a little bit there from Arcturus, who's pushing over here into Statuary, looking for the position of that Mozzie. Not going to find him out just yet, so it looks like he's going to be going for that droning there. But you also have Loading, holding a very odd angle down below here.
He's waiting for someone to step right there, but Taro's not waiting for any. Good job there. Taro really stepping it up from the last game. Proud of him. He's doing good. But once again, I can't really celebrate a lead here for All4One, as they just lose that over and over again. Both of the previous rounds have started with a great job there, and Corrupt brings it back, and Loading shuts another down. That's Racha and Arcturus down very quickly. Great frags. All of a sudden, they've turned it around yet again. 4v3 in favor of Rank Stars.
Yeah, this is already just it's starting to fall back in the favor of Rank Stars, and the vertical engagement that is usually lost. That angle should have been all Bladehawk, but he is falling behind here now, as it's all up to Taro and Syntax to hold this down. They do have good control of top floor here, but no good way to really execute on it, as they've lost their sledge of Racha there. So there's not a ton they can do here in a 4v2 situation. They definitely can pull it back, but Syntax is really going to have to show up, and Taro is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting here.
Yeah, this is tough for them. Time beginning to run out. We're down to 30 minutes, which would be an incredibly long round. Let's see what they can do here. Nomad and Thermite looking to make a difference.
Yeah, so And we're already seeing the Nomad taking a couple of shots there. Not going to do too much just yet, but still, they've got 4 players up now. Now 4 to 1 as Taro is taken down there by Corrupt. It's all up to Syntax here in a 1v4. There's not a ton he can do. He's going to spray through the wall, but we're going to see Zach there with the pistol, and Rank Stars take round number 3. They are looking to go ahead and stomp out the resistance that was All4One.
Stomp out indeed, and I think they want teams. I'm sure they're tired, mentally drained. They want to get this with, and Rank Stars is in a position to do just that. Looking 3-0 right now, doing a great job.
Yeah, already up 3-0. One more, and they've secured at least a positive half, which is something that has been difficult for either team to secure until last map, where Rank Stars was able to secure a positive first half, and we almost saw it come out from All4One to pull it into overtime, but unfortunately not. But during Clubhouse, it was 2 even halves, and it was very, very difficult for All4One. Actually, All4One has not pulled off a single positive half yet, so Rank Stars is only 1 round away for pulling off their second. So, yeah, it's looking rough here for All4One. If they're not able to win another 3 rounds here, they're going to be struggling during their next half.
Yeah, Rank Stars is gonna start running away here, and you can see that Zach 5 kills, loading 4 kills, 3 from Corrupt, 2 from Quartz even, and while over here we're seeing 3-2-2-0-0, and that needs to change. We need to see Bladehawk doing Bladehawk things. I just don't know if it's going to be too late by the time he does them.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to bring it back. Bladehawk had 19 kills on the first map. 19 kills, and I think something like 14 on the second map. I mean, he has well over 30 kills so far. And he has none now on this map. It is just not going in his favor whatsoever. As you said, we really just need to start seeing Bladehawk doing Bladehawk things, or it's not going to happen whatsoever. I mean, he's been playing some decently fragging roles, so it absolutely should be going. It absolutely should be going in his favor, but it just isn't at all. I mean, he's really been struggling. Taro has been doing a little bit of work, Arcturus as well, but Racha is sitting up at the same level. But Bladehawk, they're finally coming back to form there with a quick double kill there onto Corrupt and Quartz there. The two downstairs players looking to get a C4 onto anyone pushing in the master bedroom.
Yeah, that's big. That's gonna, like you said, take out the C4. There's no worries. You have a couple of impact nades, but other than that, you're just looking at bullets and a couple of Goyo traps. Beautiful job from Bladehawk. Very nice to see him up and about, and I think it paints the picture of how important it is to have the quality of consistency if you want to go big and you want to go far in Rainbow. That's huge. It's cool if you're good, but can you be good all the time? And if you can, well, you're gonna go a ways.
Yeah, no, I mean, you mentioned it's like being good is one thing. Being good consistently is another thing. If you're able to pull. Just being consistently good is just the easiest way. I mean, you can go from being just an absolutely just mediocre player is that if you can consistently just hit decent shots, I mean, and just do your job, but do it. You don't even have to do it perfectly. So long as you do what you do consistently, you can do really great things. And that's what we've seen from Rank Stars. They're able to do things very consistently, and that's what put them up 3 rounds so far. But Arcturus is finally making a little bit of a return to form as well. Bladehawk going to go down, though, unfortunately, to loading. So that's going to put them up to a 4-2 advantage. But Rank Stars, the Alda and the 416C, the 2 weapons left on the board here, definitely have the potential to win this out here. But we also see loading going for a little bit of a rotate up, but is not going to see Taro there. So it's a 4v1, all in the hands of Dinger, who is sitting 0-2 currently.
That was a good play there, and there it goes. It's Syntax with the kill. Syntax is doing great now. He's been playing those support roles, like you said. He's here, and now he's able to get the final frag. A good job to bring these guys a step closer. It's now going to be a 3-1 as we go into round 5. Oh boy, could we be seeing a comeback from All4One?
We absolutely could. Again, this team, it's a matter of how long are they going to allow Bladehawk and the main fraggers to be up. I mean, that's what it comes down to, is how long are Bladehawk, how long are Arcturus and Taro going to be allowed to stay up and able to wreak any kind of havoc. I mean, they are just such powerful players in this game that it's a no-brainer that you have to get rid of them first, because they are the ones that do most of the work when it comes to this team. I mean, Bladehawk has been kind of struggling this match, but you see Taro and Arcturus already up 4 and 3 kills. The kill spread already looking a little bit more even, but that's partially because All4One hasn't been getting all that many kills in general. I mean, they're really only sitting at 12 kills so far, where we look over on the side of Rank Stars. I mean, they're really only sitting at 15 as well. I mean, looking through it, I just looked through it and just did the quick math. I mean, you're sitting a 3-kill difference, and Rank Stars is still up they're still up 2 rounds. Those 3 kills have made the difference of 2 rounds and have put them up 3-1. Yeah, Rank Stars, despite only having a 3-kill lead, are way up, and
to locate a bomb and defuse it.
yeah, we may. I mean, we could potentially see All4One close that gap, but I'm unsure as to if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out. But it's just the power dynamic shifting is really interesting. I mean, after game 1, I thought it was going to be Bladehawk and Taro, and now it's looking more like a Taro Arcturus combo that's been really doing some good work for the All4One squad. We'll see if that changes here, as Pulse is going to be pulsing.
Yeah, it's going to get some good intel there, but it's going to have to be careful with Taro there on the IQ.
A direct counter, you really do have to be worried about that. Once again, nearing the 2-minute mark and nothing has happened. Everyone's looking fully HP'd up. And, well, they're going to start setting things ready to go. They want to get everything into action so they can roll it forth and not run out of time. Corrupt. A little bit of super shorty work. Oh, and there it is. Toro open up on Quartz. A beautiful shot by the IQ. He's not doing you any favors by bringing the commando, but hey, you know what? He got the kill. That's okay.
Yeah, definitely starting to do some work there. Loading, however, going to go ahead and take down Bladehawk before he's able to do any damage there, and that's exactly what you need to see. You need to get rid of Bladehawk as soon as you can, and probably Taro as well. Taro is looking to be the main fragging force so far, and that's partially because of how long he's been allowed to stay up. It's not it comes down to those 3 players. It's how long you let them stay up. We saw a lot of times during the first map that Arcturus and Racha were some of the first people taken out by Ranked Stars. So they really didn't have all that much of an opportunity to shine or really show their ability. Whereas now they're being left up later on into the match, and they're able to show that they can do some good work here. We're going to see Zach lit up a lot there by Taro.
Bunch of damage given to the Wamai. A good job, but engagement here. Taro cannot be. The double kill continues as loading drops. That's the Maestro who took down Blade. It's a 3v4 in favor of All4One.
Yeah, but with 30 seconds left, they're going to have to make some moves here. But Corrupt there, able to rotate back around, take down Arcturus after Taro rotates all the way back over to Astra Stairs. The default cam going to give away his position there. So Wamai knows exactly where he is and can potentially get the advantage of the engagement here. But he does have 2 people to worry about, 1 in bathroom, 1 on these stairs here. And there's going to be Taro to take down Corrupt there. But Zach is able to get the kill there onto Racha and almost onto the other one. But over the shield comes Taro, is able to get the quad. And we're going to see the diffuser going to go down there. And there's Dinger to close it out. And that almost came down to an ace, but the down there onto Taro, and then the quick flick back over to Racha wins it out there for Dinger.
That was huge. Time was going so quickly that they really check for flanks. They didn't have time to look for Dinger. They just had to get into sight, and he took advantage of every moment of that beautiful play from Dinger, as he'll be able to increase the, I guess not great, but continue that 3-round lead that we've been seeing a lot of recently.
Yeah, I mean they are just they're sitting up very very high here, and they've secured the positive half, and I mean they've already put themselves in a great position. Even if they lose this round, they can still come back from this easily. So I don't know. All4One are not in a great position right now. They can't. I mean, a 4-2 half is still. It's not the absolute worst on your attacking half. But on a map like Villa, which has shown a little bit more recently to be, it's leaned a little bit more defender sided. But even I've been watching a lot more tier 3 recently, and it's leaned more towards the attacker side recently, which is interesting. And seeing that completely flipped on its head on the side of All4One. I mean, given 2 of those rounds have been off of really, really great clutches on the side of Rank Star, but even so,
10 seconds remaining.
setting up 4-1, you still can't discredit those clutches as they're sitting with a 3-round lead. They put this up 5-1. I think it's absolutely over for All4One.
Yeah, that is going to be a very, very back. 5-1 is not what they want to see. So it's an essential win coming up right here as they will be bringing in a lot of the same ops. Looking for Bladehawk to do some great work once again. I think that's going to be essential. We need all of these pistons firing at the same time. We need everybody going at them. And that just hasn't been happening the way it should be.
Yeah. Another thing to mention too is we saw early on there was an even kill spread, but we're starting to see once again you've got that 1 or 2 people that are really like showing up more and more as
A bomb has been located.
as those sort of main fraggers, as like you see Taro this time is stepping up, and now it's I don't know. All4One is really, really struggling here. Taro is still doing great work, but overall, Arcturus finally stepping up a little bit more. He was struggling a lot during that first map, but a lot of really good work from him. So again, All4One, that sort of 1 or 2 fragger sort of form is starting to show up for them. But if they can start doing more work and start pulling things up, then I think that we can start seeing this. Bladehawk getting another kill, taking out Quartz there, and that's the 2 C4s once again off the board. But Zach also has one during this round, so that's still 1 up for them, and that's their bottom floor control down as well. So they're losing a lot of their main control players. So I think probably the next person they need to take out if All4One wants to win this is Loading, because that Alda and the Maestro gadgets that they can definitely do a lot.
They can do a whole lot, and there's takes down Syntax. That'll be the Thermite dead and gone. Minute to go as it's a 3v4. Something you have to say about Rankstars is they have been fantastic at performing when down a man or even 2 men. They always seem to be able to bring it back, which is just such a great quality of this team.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just really trying to think of they need to get rid of those evil eyes, or they need to get rid of Loading. Those are the 2 things they have to do. If they can, I have no words here. I'm just waiting for things to happen because that's all we can really do, because it's still either one. I really feel like All4One can do this. I mean, they absolutely can. They definitely have the kill potential, and they've shown that they can do this. We're going to see Arcturus finally take out one there. Zach gets another kill there on Daracha, so now it's a 1v1, a triple kill for Arcturus on the round. Now it's all up to Dinger here, but the plant is not going to come out, and Rank Stars will take round number 6.
Wow. Yeah, definitely a big difference from what we've been seeing in the previous 2 games. This is not close at all. In fact, it's just about as far as we've seen these 2 teams before. Last time it was 5-2. I guess it was 1 round ahead, and we saw Bladehawk and the rest of All4One bring it back to 5-5. From there, it was a ranked game. But this is going to be tough, as they can really not allow any more than 1 win if they want to be able to keep this nice and close. It's going to be tough. And I think what I've been noticing here is it's been Taro Taro doesn't have like another backup big fragger. He's sitting there with around 8 kills. Everyone else, I think the next closest is 4 or 3 from Arcturus. Let me see when it pops up. But he doesn't have one of those guys who's sitting. Oh, never mind. Arcturus is getting up there with 6. So he does now. Pardon me.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so, again, rank stars are sitting up very, very high right now, but I've seen... I don't know. I feel like I've been digging on All4One a little bit too hard here. They have been doing very, very well up until now. But that sort of 1 or 2 fragger sort of form for them is kind of what seems to be hurting them, and especially on this map where frags are very, very important, but still not everything. I mean, the strategy comes down to it all, and the utility as well. Utility is not as important on a map like Coastline, where we saw All4One keep things very, very close with rank stars and make that incredible comeback and close a 3-round deficit. So yeah, I don't want to count out All4One, but it just the way things typically go, this is not looking good for them. But I do still believe that they can come back for this, and they can do what they need to do.
Absolutely. We've seen it before, and they are switching over to defense. And I think that might be good for them in this case. They're able to kind of sit back a little bit more, be a little bit more relaxed, hold those angles. You don't have to worry about rushing in. Maybe that's going to help them. Last time we saw Ratchet go for the P90 dock. Maybe we'll see that again. He did some great work with that, and it really seemed to work for All4One. But this is going to be a big deciding round. If they let him go to match point here, it's going to be so hard for them to bring it back. Of course, it's still possible, but it's just going to be in that really, really unlikely territory.
Yeah.
Once again, these rounds have gone so slow. I feel like we barely got into it already. 30. First Thatcher charge going to go off. He's trying to shut some things down. It looks like stuff is going to start spinning up, speeding up. Here we go. Can we get some big frags happening? A whole lot of setup to this. We still do have a couple of these guys underneath roaming about. Arcturus looking for some people to take down. He's getting a little bit close as Dinger moves on up the stairs. Checking those angles very efficiently. And there it is. It's Bladehawk. A beautiful C4 placed on loading. That'll take the big ol' Thatcher down, but a refrag. Bladehawk goes down to Quartz. A great shot, as that'll be IQ opening again. Another one from Arcturus. Refragging onto Dinger. 3v4, as this has been a back and forth round if I ever did see one.
Yeah, no, it's Arcturus. They're able to actually gonna fall there to Quartz. There is gonna even out the man count to a even 3-3 here. So yeah, they're already getting that wall open is gonna be big. There is Zach, a nasty little shot there onto Racha, and they're gonna look to go ahead and try and take out the one in Vault 2 as Taro goes down as well, and there's Corrupt to take down Syntax, and Rank Stars pull themselves up, taking round number 7. And it's looking a little bit rough. They're sitting up here 6-1. They're looking to not make this quite as they're not looking quite as not quite as a long match as the ones have been before.
Yeah, it really seems like All4One needed to win that previous match on Coastline. It just almost feels like some of the guys have ran out of steam at this point. Some of them who've been performing so well have just been relatively quiet, and you just have to wonder what could have happened if they would have just won on Coastline. They'd be good. They'd be in a much better position. But here, Ranked is ready to go for the win. The guillotine is hanging over, and all they have to do is cut that rope.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
Yeah,
by
so already. Oh yeah, so now we're going to see All4One heading back to Aviator Games once again after losing it very heavy-handedly. I mean, yes, it's probably the most defender-sided map out there on this map, but you just lost it probably the most heavy-handedly that you could lose it. And you're on match point 7-1. Now is not the time to be repeating sites at all. I mean, it is absolutely not the time. This is when you want to head out. You want to just say, all right, you know what? We just need to take a step back. Let's go somewhere else. Let's try and pull this back. Let's head to Trophy Statuary. It's another one of it's a site we also know, and we've been able to hold it well because it looks like All4One is knowledgeable about this map. I mean, they've used the basement for rotates, which you really don't see from a tier 3 team. So I mean that's got to show, for one, that they have some knowledge of this map in general. So the fact that they're sitting this low on it, I mean, again, it's that 2-fragger structure that's kind of hurting them now. Arcturus and Taro, again, doing great work, but the rest of the team isn't really bringing the rest of that up to speed to sort of help them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the 2-fragger thing would work if the other guys were also at least, you know, doing average, pulling a 1.0. That would be just fantastic for them. But it just hasn't been that way. And I think if they want to continue to progress in the league, they're going to have to find a way to absolutely get everyone doing their job. You know, if someone wants to just go off and get all the kills, fantastic. But let's make sure we're backing them up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we haven't seen that from All4One. I mean, yes, you've got a couple people who's like, they can get all the kills, but there's no one there to back it up. I mean, the thing you want to see is they can get the kills, but then you've got, if that one person dies, you've got the people that can still get like at least 1 kill apiece there to sort of even it out, which you don't really have on the side of All4One. You have that on the side of Rank Stars. You do not see that on the side of All4One. I mean, Zach and Loading have been really pulling out the stops here, and they've been the ones leading the charge for Rank Stars. But Dinger, Quartz, Corrupt, they've all been able to get kills on the side of that. Corrupt is also pulling out 6 kills as well, doing fairly well. So I definitely think that All4One has a lot of potential here. And they just need to figure out the structuring of their team a little bit. They're good individual players. They just need to figure out how they want to try and structure their team. Taro, though, able to even out the man advantage there and actually get another kill there, taking out Loading, as well as Arcturus is following Zach, taking down Bladehawk as well, evening out the man advantage there to a 3-3 now. Raja, Taro, and Syntax, the ones up on the board here. Corrupt, Dinger, and Zach. As I said, though, Corrupt is going to fall to the vector of Syntax, as the kills will now start flying, and it's now a 3v2, and Zach will go down to Racha, and now it's all to Dinger on the Blackbeard, as he actually gets a knife kill there on the Taro.
Oh no, the knife kill 9 seconds ago, or even a lot of time to do so. Defenders with the win. Goes off. A beautiful job there. To maybe they're making a comeback, or maybe they're delaying the inevitable. Either way, they won round, and that's big for them.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. These guys have to win They have to win 5 rounds in a row, now 4, to pull it to overtime, at the very least.
Yeah, and that's without losing a single one.
Yeah, they cannot lose a single round at this point. I mean, it's not like the last one where they can afford to lose a single round to potentially give it up to just bringing it to overtime. No, they can't lose a single round at this point because it's up at 6-1. We've seen them make a comeback like this before, but it's just a matter of, can they do it again? I mean, they've started getting things up. They've started getting things back together. I mean, we saw it was actually on their attack. They were able to bring it back on Coastline. Now we'll maybe see, hey, are they able to, or no, it was on their defense. Well, now let's see if we see the same thing. Are All4One able to just show that they're stronger on their defense? Rank Stars were able to choose their side for this map due to our coin flip, since the round differential was even. All4One won 8-6 on the very first map, and then Rank Stars won 7-5 on the second map. So the round differential was perfectly even between these two teams. So a coin flip determined that Rank Stars got to choose their side, but All4One were able to choose their overtime side. So, and that means All4One will also get to start on defense on their OT, which means if they're able to pull it to OT, they have a really good chance of bringing it back, because at that point they will have won 5 defensive rounds in a row. I mean,
that would be
that's
huge.
already looking really, really good for them if they're able to pull it to OT. So I really want to believe in All4One here because, again, I've seen these players do really, really well. It's just they aren't. I don't know. It feels like they maybe need to shift up the roles that players are in, which it looks like they're doing a little bit. They have Taro sitting on more of an anchor role now, instead of that roaming role, maybe forcing more players to come in. They've shifted Arcturus off of that anchor role, maybe knowing that Taurus is maybe a little bit stronger at getting those anchor-sided kills, which they haven't really been able to do, which in the late round causes their defense to sort of falter. Whereas in the early round, Taro was able to get a couple kills here and there, but overall isn't able to really make a ton of impact as far as who he kills. But there's going to be Corrupt getting the very first kill, taking down Bladehawk, who has actually has fallen away from his typical fragging role.
That's big for Rank Stars there. You're taking down Bladehawk. Still have a couple of guys. Taro, Arcturus, the rest of the gang. Something I just thought of is, I think I remember you mentioning that you saw Ranked play, or Rank Stars play a little bit. I think they were known under Revenant then, but they had a totally different team, right? This is not like their normal squad.
Yeah, no, it's the only people that I actually remember, I believe, are Quartz and Loading. Quartz and Loading are the only people I actually remember from the Revenant roster that I saw, and it wasn't even that long ago. It was Saturday that I saw them. So they've had this change in organization, and even since then, so it's a very different team that I'm seeing. So it's not. I think this may have been just the changes they needed, switching away from that order. They found the roster that they needed, and they just work well together.
Yeah.
And they've had plenty of time to prepare for this match as well. I mean, again, their last match that I know of was on Saturday. But there's Syntax taking out Zach as well, evening out that pain advantage after Taro and Bladehawk are taken down. We're starting to see the other members of All4One step up a little bit and start getting some kills here and there, and start pulling this back in their favor. Quartz, Corrupt, and Dinger, the only three left on the side of Rank Stars. Going to swing through that window. Quartz going to take down Syntax, that G8, such a powerful platform there. It's up to Racha and Arcturus now, and Arcturus is going to go down. Racha takes down Quartz, though, so it is all up to Corrupt and Dinger here in a 1v2. Still very doable for Racha. He's just got to watch his angles there. He doesn't see the hole behind him, but he is able to still get the kill onto Corrupt as he rotates through. So now it's a 1v1 all up against Dinger. He doesn't see him through, but the floor, and that is Racha winning it out there, taking down Dinger, and All4One have put themselves up at a 6-3. They are coming back from this. This is, again, we've seen All4One make comebacks, and they just had to get on the defense, and they had to get back in their groove, and that's exactly what they've done. And we're starting to see other players of All4One step up. That team synergy that I was talking about that they were sort of missing during the first two maps, they're kind of starting to see that now, and that's exactly what they need. I mean, as soon as they find that good synergy, All4One is just going to run away with it. I really feel like they will.
Absolutely. They've got, like you said, they have great players, but until now, they've really lacing and interlocking, working with each other. But as they continue to do this, I think we'll continue to see a big comeback, and it's up to Ranked to shut that down before it gets too late. They don't want to go to overtime. They want to close it as quick as possible. But are they going to be able to? This is some good momentum that All4One is now gaining.
Yeah.
Wow. So if we're looking at the stats real quick, it's nice that we're seeing Syntax do some great work. He's up there with 4 kills alongside Bladehawk. Both of them are the lower end of the frags, and they're kind of close to what we see with Dinger and Quartz. But it's Arcturus, Racha, and Taro with the good kills, 11, 7, and 6. And those are matching up pretty closely to what we see. I mean, it's a good game. It always has been. But I think something just went wrong with that attacking phase, and they were not able to win the rounds they needed to. Took a lot of damage because of it. And here they are trying to do damage control and stop the bleeding, and well, in fact, make the other guys bleed more.
Yeah, so I think probably the biggest player here is Syntax was stepping up and getting kills as well. That factor there on the Goyo, I think was really the play. They're able to take down. I believe it was. I think he was able to take down. It was either Quartz or Loading that he was able to take down, and that's a big kill taking on, especially if he was able to take down Loading there. He's been such a big fragger. He's been starting to pull ahead. Him and Zach have really started pulling ahead in the way of frags. So I mean, really good there. And we see actually Quartz here looking for Racha there on that pulse. Actually saw the saw the members and was looking for them to come into the master bedroom. And I believe he's just waiting to toss a C4 there up onto the ceiling and potentially get them as soon as they start getting on that wall. And it looks like he will go ahead and forego that as he knows they're up there, but is just waiting for the right moment. Taro throws one up, doesn't connect with anyone.
That's a big miss. You don't want to be wasting your C4. They're so effective. We saw that one rush that All4One tried, absolutely shut down by a beautifully placed C4 from Zach. The power that C4 has is just unbridled.
Yeah, and we're going to see one come out there from Racha. It looks like it could connect with one person, but it does not connect with anyone, unfortunately. So that will be another wasted C4 as another one comes out there from Bladehawk. Doesn't connect either, and there's one more still left on the side of Syntax. They brought almost the maximum amount of C4s you can have there.
They really want some explosive kills, man. They want to get that battle pass done.
Absolutely here. And still one more C4 up. They can still potentially do work with Syntax. There's still no kills left out, and it's 55 seconds in. If Rank Stars want to make an entry onto this site, they need to get a kill here, and they need to get that ball rolling, but they haven't. And they really need to get that kill if they want to start moving in, and without that, they're going to have a hard time. But we're going to see one come out there onto Syntax. Quartz gets one, but it's immediately refragged. Corrupt gets one, and onto Arcturus. Bladehawk gets one onto Dinger. Zach gets one onto Taro. Things are just going back and forth right now. It's a 3v2, a 3v1. Loading takes down Bladehawk. It's all up to Racha here. He's able to almost down one. Loading there is very low.
There it is.
But there it goes. Rank Stars unfortunately coming out with the win there. The offsite of Kitchen being the demise of All4One, and we will now see that Rank Stars have come up from an unlikely victory. I mean, it already looked like, yeah, it looked like from the very beginning that All4One could have taken it, especially during map number 2 with that comeback from the 5-2 deficit. Was so impressive, just unfortunately not going their way. So that will be Rank Stars taking that 2-1 victory, and a very long matchup at that.
Oh yes, if you've been with us, thank you so much. It's been lovely, and both teams I think can sit back and be proud of what they did here tonight. It was a fight all the way to the bitter end.
Yeah, so we will still have one more match here. We're going to be we're gonna have to wait for that one to finish out its first map because we had them go ahead and start. Since this one went into its second map, we decided to let them go ahead and start it out. And so we should be with you. We'll join in on the second map there. But until then, we'll be taking a very short break so that we can give ourselves a chance to sort of relax here.
Well rested. Oh man.